evening, afternoon, and we are back with a new episode of the In-Quy'zz-ition. As always, I'm joined by my lovely players. You can see them all on the screen. Say hi, lovely players.
Hi, lovely players.
Every single one of you did the same joke, and I love it so much. 8Flame, what's up, humans? None much. What about you? Are you not a human? All right. We need music.
It's a flame.
Oh, do we not have music?
We don't have music.
You haven't been doing music? Okay.
I just thought people would love to hear just our lovely, dark, and beautiful music.
Well, there you go.
What are we feeling? What are we feeling tonight?
Sea shanties.
Yeah,
sea shanties.
Yeah.
I can do some sea shanties.
Yeah, if you had some good, nice, not like Twitch TOS compliant sea shanties.
I've got some piratey kind of sounds.
If you want, I could just not play this session and sing sea shanties the entire time.
We'll think about it. Oh, there you go.
Come by the kitty man, come.
There you go. Isn't that nice? I've been summoned by Snapchat. Well, thank you for coming, Mr. Big J.
Thank you, Mr. Big J.
All right. So, welcome once again, one and all, to the In-Quy'zz-ition, starring me, your lovely host, DippyTheDM, and all of my lovely players, as I already mentioned. We will be taking to the waters today as we continue the storyline of our lovely troupe who has just converged together for the first time. I guess there's no better place to start than what happened last session. Is the music a little loud? Maybe a little?
Not on my end. It's perfect.
It sounds good to me.
It's weirdly
Nobody
loud.
talk for a second. Good.
Okay. There we go. So, last time, I love my band our band of merry adventurers met at the place of business owned by our lovely human artificer, Tesla Fastbender. And there were some discussions to be had in the rain, or in the building of her establishment, whilst the rain came down. You almost had a confrontation with a courier. We were introduced to all of our lovely players of this game: Zog, Willow, the pedal trio, and the junkyard fellas.
The junkyard fellas?
I don't know.
Is that what her name is? I feel insulted.
That's not the group name. The group name comes
We're the trash men.
The trash man. So we met.
I'm just throwing it all around. Straight in the garbage. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm a little hyper.
freshmen
much.
and the peddlers.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm around.
As you can see on the screen as well, we have a basic outline of our lovely map of the region now for you to gaze upon in all of its glory. All right, so we met them, we chatted with them, they discussed some stuff, they gambled, they played some games, fun times were had, and then Tesla came to the realization that something's going up with her business, so she's got to figure out what the fuck is up with that. So they all hopped on to Zog's boat, the Toad Skipper.
You got it right this time.
Yeah, and set off down the Coleman River towards the eastern end of Moran. Now, due to traveling against the current rather than with it, it will take just a little bit longer. But we pick up on the boat at the beginning of some travel time.
How long is the travel going to be?
I would say that to get to the eastern side of Moran, depending on how well you're piloting your boat, it'll be either exactly an hour or less, depending on how well you pilot it.
That sounds like you want me to roll something.
I'm about to make you roll a water vehicle.
What kind of ship is this, by the way?
It is
This is a boat.
so it is powered by a Solarum engine. So it would
Yes.
technically be like it would be a magic engine boat, but there's no short term for that, so boat it is.
Dadley,
It's
what
boat.
does your boat look like?
My boat looks like it's
Because
like,
I'm
has-
curious as a player.
Okay. Also, I didn't describe my boat last section actually. So
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
my boat.
Take a moment
Yeah.
to describe the Toad Skipper for everybody.
Yeah.
So the Toad Skipper is like it's old, it's beaten down. You look at that thing and you're like, that motherfucker floats. It's just like got a little bit of rotten wood, but like it holds its own. When you climb up onto it, it is like very big deck. It is mostly outside. I also don't know boats. I'm pulling this up my ass. So it is like a mostly deck boat that has a little cabin on the inside with a bunk bed and a king size bed over to the side. That also has the helm and everything else you would need to pilot it. So it's
If
close quarters if you're spending the night. Yes.
If I could help a little, considering that you do business with my character, it's probably like a very small, good sized, like medium fisherman's boat.
Yeah.
Utilized for
Fisherman's
freight shipping.
trawler.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So like, there's plenty of room for a lot of people. It's
Mhm.
just it's not like it's definitely not a casual boating thing. It's bigger. It's gonna there's gonna be a crane that is gonna pick up and remove or place rates on there.
Dog, your toad schooner's completely filthy.
Skipper. And it's not filthy. Look, and I point to one chair that is completely white while there's a bunch of other chairs that look like shit.
This
Well,
chair
there's
is
one chair I've kept-
immaculately clean.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's immaculately clean, and I sit in it. I'm like, it's my chair.
I'll stand.
Oh, I mean, shoot yourself? Shoot yourself. Suit yourself? There's plenty of
No, I
nice
believe that's
views.
correct. Shoot yourself is correct.
No, let's not.
Damn,
No.
Okay.
Kidding.
off to a wild start. All right.
No.
So,
I look at, because Tesla's been on my boat before, I look at Willow, and welcome to another session of me fucking up your name. Quinston.
Quinlan. Look at the
Quinlan.
overlay. It's there.
You know
It
what? It's,
Okay.
yeah, you will also
I- let's-
notice,
let's
lovely
put it
folks,
as in character.
you will also
Alright.
notice on the stream this time, we have, now that we know all of them, we have the names and race class combos of our characters. If
Yeah.
you check above the player that you would like to know the name of race and class of, there you go. It's
Mhm.
there.
I look at Willow, and it's gonna take me forever to figure this name out for some reason. Quinlan.
There
And I just say like, yeah, welcome to the boat. There's places to sit. Do y'all want snacks or like some hot cocoa or something? Because it's still a little bit chilly out in the water. And I'm just trying to be like as good as a host as possible on my little Toad Skipper.
And to that point, you do notice that for a few of you, this is the first time that you've traveled by water on in the context of this world. Stepping onto the boat and setting off, like, you immediately notice a drop in temperature. It's colder than you would have expected from just you're standing on an object like in the middle of the water. Like, you would think the temperature wouldn't change. It's colder. And you notice the water around you bubbling ever so slightly in a few places. It's not a perfectly still water, but because the river is constantly flowing somewhat. But in the places where it does stand a little slower than other places, it is there is a noticeable glow of crystals that jut out from the banks of the river into the water. And where those crystals are, some of them bubble just a little bit. You would think that jumping directly into the water of the Coleman River would be ill-advised for someone who is not accustomed to it. I would say that Tesla, Zog, and Sun, because you have basically lived the entirety of your lives within the context of Snot Drizzle as opposed to Petal, you would be more accustomed to the water, and you would be able to naturally.
Zog's definitely gone swimming in this stuff.
Yeah. So you would be able to traverse freely in the water with like little to no consequence. It would be interesting if a petalite falls into the water, but we don't know if that's going to happen yet.
My
Zog.
question is this Willow's first time on a boat?
Yes.
I'm on a boat.
Yes.
It's time to
Pretty
do the
much.
boat song. I'm on a boat.
Is Willow having trouble staying still? Because if you start like flying, the boat's leaving without you. You're not like landing in the same spot you would be.
So
Probably that's a good.
the laws of physics here are a little strange. That is technically true. But I would say that with your boat having either a crane mechanism or a mast of some kind for an emergency sail, Willow could brace themselves or herself against the mast of the boat while it's moving in whatever direction it is moving.
And also, if this is the first time you're checking us out, Willow's a fairy, and that's why I say this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
we got a character with a flying speed. We always love it.
She's probably just standing on the boat.
Okay.
I think
Give
that
her
would be
wings.
perfect comedic movement if we set off and she's just staying still. Like, are you coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. The boat's also not traveling fast enough that Willow wouldn't be able to keep up with her flying speed. but
No, I know, but that's still
It's funny to think about.
Good.
cartoon.
So yeah, just Zog's asking. I mean, he's asking Damon as well, even though Damon is being his little emo self. If anyone, Damon's an emo teddy bear, and no one can convince me otherwise. Is just asking like any hot cocoa, any snacks. Well, like it's not gonna be that long of a trip, but I know it gets chilly on the water if y'all need anything.
Nope, we didn't hear any of what you said.
I said, I'll be alright, and
I thought he
put my
just-
head up.
I thought he just spoke wind for a second. I was like,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. No, that's Quinlan.
That's Steve's can.
Very, very in character.
It's called
Anyway.
flatulalism.
Oh God.
Because he's speaking out his ass.
No.
Oh, I thought you were making a treasure planet.
Oh, no.
And a pub.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that one guy in Treasure Planet. Shout out Treasure Planet, best
Yeah.
movie of all time.
Oh, yeah. Disney, you tried to make that thing die. Not gonna do it.
All right, so
Disney didn't care.
got a couple of checks that I
Yeah.
want some folks to make. If you are paying attention to the riverbanks and the water around you, I need you to make a perception check. You don't
Okay.
have to, it's just if you want to. Zog, I
Uh,
need you to make a water vehicles check. In your case, I will say as much as this. You can take either your dexterity bonus, your just straight dexterity bonus, or your wisdom bonus, and because this is your boat and you've been piloting it so long, you can add your proficiency.
Okay.
I
That's
will.
a 19 for perception.
Yeah. Sundial's job will literally just be looking out on the water. It's his worst stat, but he will be doing that.
Okay, so Damon
Like
got a
everything else on the ship, everyone's doing their worst thing as their job.
what? So Damon got a what? Oh dear.
Oh no.
We'll have to figure
Zog
that
You got
out.
a 19.
A 19.
Zog got a dirty 20 for the boat.
Nice.
Perfect.
Quinlan got a 10.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I got
Sundial
a
got it.
23.
Sundial got a 22.
All right. So if you did an 18 or better,
Mhm.
which would be everybody except Quinlan.
That
I
I didn't roll. Oh,
That's only if you roll.
I know. I was saying, no roll
Yeah,
is
you
a
were
zero.
technically right.
So,
Yeah, no roll is a zero. Or your passive. What's your passive?
I
I see your
as
passive.
she's looking to steal Zog's chair as soon as he gets up, so she's not looking.
Alrighty.
That makes
Everyone
two
froze
of
on
us.
my end.
Going
Okay,
to
so
that
you had an-
chair.
Okay, so if you had an 18 or higher, you would notice, kind of off in the distance, if you're traveling upstream. Oop, that's my alarm for when the show is supposed to start. We started early, or
Wow.
I made an alarm for when I thought we would start. If you look off the port side of your boat, if you're looking in that direction, you would notice a pack of an irradiated creature. And if you got an 18 or better, you would recognize this creature as a gazelle type animal. It has 4 horns instead of 2, and you notice that it has like, its hair is like much longer than you think of a gazelle as like a very sleek, short-haired animal. These are long-haired, 4-horned gazelle type creatures, and on a 20 or better, you notice that they have an extra set of eyes as well.
Those are some fucked up dogs.
Yes, they are.
If you want more information
Dogs.
about that, you don't have to have more information about that, but if you want more information about that, you can roll a nature check. Quinlan and Tesla, Zog, you get up from your chair to like start to pilot the boat, and if you're both going for that chair, I need you to roll a contested strength check. No, a contested
Dexterity, probably.
yeah, a dexterity check.
I mean, it's basically
Ooh.
I would say
What is
sleight
it?
of hand, but it's not like you're trying to hide your action from the other, so just straight
What's that?
dexterity.
what's that game with the chairs?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. That's kind of what we're going for.
What's that game with
Um,
the chairs?
What's the game with the
That's
chairs
great.
that's musical?
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about the musical part. I was just like
love
2 people, 1 chair. What's that
Anyway.
game?
25.
25. Tesla?
Wait, is this for people trying to steal my chair?
Yes.
Do I roll anything?
You got up to
Oh,
like
I had to go man the boat. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man the boat.
I got, is this Dex?
Yes,
14.
14. Quinlan easily like right out from like Tesla, you like looked over for like a second and it's like,
How big
all
is
right,
he?
all right, he's gone. You look back and the chair's gone too. And you see Quinlan just sitting,
How big is Quinlan?
posturally in it.
He's 5'6",
7'8".
5'7".
Oh,
Oh,
so
really?
just a little taller than her. Okay.
I
Yeah.
imagined him to be really tall, actually. Okay.
Genasi are typical human size.
Thought they were like 6'1" minimum.
I
but
think
okay.
Earth Genasi tend to be a little taller just because they're like molded from the Earth. They tend to be a
Yes,
little bit bulkier.
Fully down.
How tall is Sundial?
Sun is tall.
Sundial's height will fluctuate depending upon his like pole on his
Self-esteem.
orb. He goes between like 5'10" to like 6'7".
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So at his tallest, he's pretty tall, but
Yeah.
in his semi-regular state, he's only a bit taller than Quinlan.
Yeah, but like
We don't have any
also when
giant
he's on like
folks
his
the
shut down stage, he's like 3 feet tall.
boat. Yeah, because it's a pile of rubble.
Yeah.
So
No, we
don't
went
have
the
any
other
tall
way.
folks.
We
Unless
have
Damon is
tiny.
a tall folk.
Yeah.
I'm
Damon, how
6'6".
tall are you? Of course.
How? 6'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Damon is the tallest natural person so far.
Dog is 6'6.5". No.
How
No,
tall
Dog's
is
probably like 5'11" and 6'1",
5'11".
and somebody asked him.
a fight to the
Yeah.
death for a chair? Yes, 8 Flame. You and your 2 accounts. What is wrong with you?
But I wanted to be
Nothing. They're just giving us
bumped
extra
off the
support.
chair.
Love you.
So you see Quinlan just sitting posturally on the chair,
No, he pushed me off. I'm on the floor.
Oh. So you just
Just giving a look down.
Can
off like down the side of the boat?
does
No, down
Me.
at
Oh, down at Tesla.
yeah, down at Tesla.
is Sundial hearing this conversation?
With what was your perception again?
My
was more
passive's
than
like
a-
13.
Your passive
Please
is
tell
13.
me that Zog doesn't even pay attention and he just backs right up and sits down in Quinlan's lap.
Zog's manning the
Beautiful.
boat at the moment. That's a very strong possibility.
That would be funny.
You do hear a little bit of this,
Okay.
Sundial.
I'll look over, see what's happening. And I'll just take
Don't
like a
stress,
little bit
there's
of like
more
the
than
earth that
one
I have
chair.
and just mold it into like a small chair and just give it to Tesla.
He basically hands you a cube, like just a little cube.
Like a
It
stone.
has like a small resting onto the back. It's like that perfect size that you can like be able to lean
Yeah.
back and it pops your back.
Yeah,
Okay,
Those cool
so
desks.
like those Art
Old
Deco
school
egg
desk,
chairs.
that's where
it's
Yeah.
It's like he imagines like his like it's just literally one of his hands, but then it has like legs to the bottom of it, like 4 legs.
I politely decline and say thanks. No way. He probably needs my help. And I look at point
Well,
at
it's
Zog.
already made, so he's just gonna leave it there. So
I offer it to one
There's
of
a
the
chair
actual
for
desks.
someone to sit if they need.
You,
I
as you
think
say,
that's the
Zog needs help.
Second
you fully-
cleanest thing in here.
As you see, like a Zog might need your help. He is fully burning his hand trying to light a candle. Like, why won't this fucking go? Like,
I think it's
I-
funny.
It takes you a good like 30 seconds to get that
Yeah.
candle lit, and you're like, wait, into the wind, and then
yes.
it goes up first time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will be busy making sure that everything that is inside, so that there's nothing that falls off, leaving the dock, either destroying his boat or destroying my dock. And I will do all the extraneous stuff that he seems not important, but probably should be done anyways.
Oh, you would have already been like gotten
Yeah.
going by
Yeah,
this.
we're
Oh yeah,
on the
no,
road.
I'm
You'll be
gonna
on the
do
boat.
this. I'm gonna do this after the seat thing, because
Of course. So, as you get yourselves underway, is there anything that anyone wants to do in the downtime?
Zog yells from the window again. Hot chocolate. 3
Yes.
times now. Does anyone? Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one
You
wants
see,
your
Zog.
chocolate.
You see
You're in a
Quinlan
boat.
raise his hand, and you hear Willow shout yes.
I yell to Sundial. I say, "Hey, can you whip up 2 hot chocolates and one of like the my hot chocolates for Damon over there?" And I hope
Mhm.
Sundial knows that he means the put the rum in it.
Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
The sweeter
Okay,
kind.
so-
Got it.
So as you go into the deck level helm, where most of the living space is, you walk down a set of stairs into the lower helm, or where the hot chocolate machine, the very jerry-rigged hot chocolate machine, but a hot chocolate machine nonetheless. The engine and a lot of just the private cargo space kind of rests. There's like a little snack cart there.
Yeah.
It was a snack cart that he found on one of his expeditions. Like, it was laying on the side of the road, much like you were when he found you. And it's just one of those things that it's kind of halfway working. You can make a hot chocolate out of it, and there he keeps a bottle of give me 1 second. Hold on. Keeps a bottle of Kerp's rum next to it.
Nice.
And Kerp's rum, you see the label on the bottle is just a kobold with a big old thumbs up, and there's a label on the bottle of a kobold with a big old thumbs up, and one of the bottles that you're holding on its horns, and it's just like it's really tacky, cheap rum. You know, it's like the bottom of the liquor store shelf.
Sundial
rum.
doesn't know the difference.
It's like how
Yes.
there's Captain Morgan and then there's Sailor Jerry and then there's
Yeah.
Admiral. This is Admiral level.
Yeah, this is
Hey, it all
this is
gets you drunk,
Admiral.
right?
This is Admiral rum. Yeah. So you make 2 hot chocolates. On the second one, I need you to roll me a dexterity save.
Okay.
Also, just for the chat, Sailor Jerry is cheaper and it tastes
Nice. 15 on that save.
15. So you hear the machine start to make this like, and you like step away from it for a second. You take your hand off of like the dispenser and you just let it cool down for a second, and it's just like, and then you go back to it. Machine doesn't explode. And you end up with
Good machine.
3 hot chocolates. What cups are these hot chocolates in, Zog?
They are in very generic. Like I went to blank and all I got was a damn coffee mug, and
Yeah.
it's just different places.
One of them is chipped, and the other one is like, one of them is like a beer stein, but the top half of the beer stein is missing, so it's
so
mug
now it's just a
size.
coffee mug.
Yeah, so now it's just a coffee mug.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with that one. You've tried to sand the edge down so it's not as sharp, but there's still a couple of rough spots. And he comes up with these, and you see Sundial come up with these 3 glasses of hot chocolate. And you hand the special one to Damon, and you give the other 2 away. Quinlan and Willow. You're not familiar with the sensation of the taste of hot chocolate because you've had finer things. You've had like cafe mochas and like like the equivalent of like cafe mochas and espresso like Americanos. Like they're really, you've had much more refined tastes than just a hot chocolate. But this tastes nice and simple, and like sometimes it's just a simple drink that's, it goes down the right way and it's nice. Damon, I need you to make a con save.
Natural 20.
Nice. So you feel the sensation of the hot chocolate first, and then this burning sensation in the inside of your mouth of alcohol. And because of your past experience with alcohol, you have no problem at all just like swallowing this down like everybody else did, with like basically no reaction at all. He put in a little too much. It kind of overpowered the taste of the chocolate, but with the chocolate and the rum mixing together, it kind of tastes like chocolate cake, which is an interesting taste.
Like a rum ball.
Yeah. Like a root beer float, but spiked.
To Zog in the captain's area, or in the...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So after giving the hot chocolate to Zog, or to all the passengers, they will begin to go up the stairs to Zog and just stand there at Zog for a second.
Buddy, what's up, man? You good?
What is dirt?
What is dirt?
Yes, they keep...
It is like the things that end up on the ground on land that make like my feet or my boots like look browner than I got off the boat with them. That's dirt. It's like parts of the earth that have become dust.
Sundial, make an intelligence save.
Okay. $13.
Yeah, that's a good enough answer for you.
Okay. They say ship is dirty.
Anything less than a 10, and you would have like short circuited for a second, and you wouldn't have accepted it as an answer, and he would have had to explain it again.
Okay.
The ship isn't dirt. We
just
just got a
funny.
good rain on it. Like it got all cleaned off. It's just an old ship. It's not a dirty ship.
It
Do
is
you want-
noticeably like wetter and like slicker, but it's still kind of the same level of soil from before.
Do you think, Sundial, do you think we should like, where are you on the screen? Sundial. Below the trap.
On the stream, Sundial
You're
is
just below.
you.
I'm completely below you. All the trash people are on one side, and all the fairy people are on the other.
That's true. That's true. That's a
I
good
wanna
way to
turn this
tell.
into, like the Brady
Oh,
Bunch
hey, you
intro
did do
whenever I
that.
talk to somebody.
It's a story
Yeah.
of a man named Zog.
I'm Zog. Sundial, like, do you think we should keep the ship cleaner? Like, I don't mind taking a weekend and like grabbing
No,
the scrub brush out. And
I
From around
can
the
clean.
corner, you hear Damon yell, "Probably be a good idea."
I can clean easily.
Well, I know you can, but you don't got to do it alone. Like, we could get this done in a weekend.
I could do it in 5 seconds.
I don't think you can.
I will use prestidigitation to literally clean a 5-foot area in 6 seconds to make it pristine.
So you point at the back of his ship, like at the back, in the back corner of his like little helmsman's like cabin, and you see Zog. This ship is like
Was blue at one point.
naturally- yeah, like the natural color of the wood of this boat is stunning. And you forgot how good this ship looks when it's like cleaned of all of its grime, but it's almost like too clean. Like it doesn't have that homey feel anymore. Homey. It doesn't have that homey feel anymore.
I'd like to.
That took me off guard.
I'm gonna give myself disadvantage.
Can I do druid craft and just make the sparkly, like the shiny sparkles?
Yes.
Just all around
like the anime
it.
sparkles. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, and then as you're looking at it, you just see it go, ting, 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 like, and it's like shiny and clean
I'm
and
gonna
new.
do an insight check on Zog
Yeah.
to notice. Insight check on Zog to notice if he's displeased with how clean it is or not.
Go ahead.
Okay. 13.
I would like my
plus
character to be coming around.
plus my insight, which is plus 3, 16.
16. What is your natural Zog? What is your passive insight?
Passive insight is 10.
10. Okay.
Oh, I see it. Wait, your passive insight is.
Oh, sorry, 15. I was looking at passive investigation.
So 16, I would be able to.
Yeah.
You would be
so
able to tell. Zog, how do you feel in this moment?
You see like Zog's brain split in two for a second of like, oh my god, that's so pretty. Oh my god, I'm lazy. Like, like I bring people on this boat for money. Like, so
at this point, go ahead.
He's
Go
not
ahead.
disappointed in you guys for cleaning it. He's disappointed in himself for not getting to it. Like,
For not cleaning it, yeah.
Son just goes just looks at Zog and says, "Give me 5 minutes. Whole ship will clean. I'll even get side."
Oh,
Wait,
you
I'd
don't
like
have
to
to do that
run
right
around.
now.
Okay, if
I'd
you
like to
do,
come around
okay,
this
if you
point.
do that, there will be some stuff that happens. But
Well, I
Tesla,
can
go
do
ahead.
control water to be able to get the side of the ship to be able to scrub it.
Give it a minute,
Mm.
Tesla.
I was gonna say I'd like to come walking around into the ship's area, or the captain's area,
Mhm.
at the tail end of this conversation, and be like, "Yeah, and you could use a little maintenance here and there." And I'm like, she's covered in grease, not covered, but you can tell she's been doing some work and trying to make sure
Hey.
some things don't just rust off.
I look at Sundial and Tesla and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but there are still 3 strangers on the boat that I live in, and now the 2 people I trust are the only ones not with them. I have to man the boat. Can one of you 2 go chill with the others?
I
Wait,
will
you don't
clean and
trust him?
monitor.
It's not like I don't trust them. I trust them in the most lovable way of like, they're gonna be like, what's this? And all of a sudden like lower the sail.
I
Oh
can-
no, don't worry.
Can I just
I
say-
made sure to tie everything off so
Give
that
me
they
a
can't
second.
do that. Now your personal items, that's another story.
My personal items are mine. We don't.
Speaking
touch
of
them.
which,
Your chair.
while this conversation is happening, if you are so inclined, you can make an investigation check.
I'm not good at that, but I will.
No, the pedalites. I was speaking more to the
Oh.
pedalites in that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a 19 for investigation.
19.
That's a 9.
9.
It's
Oh
done me
boy.
dirty now.
We're falling back into the trend.
6.
6.
Oof.
This
Dave,
guy
so-
is gonna get melted, I swear.
So, oh yeah, I remember watching that video. That was a good video. So Quinlan and Willow, you're just too infatuated with like, wow, this is a strange new feeling of being on a boat. Like,
With hot
familiar with
chocolate.
the concept, but you've never been on a boat at this point. Damon, you are immediately snooping around, and
Typical
Shocker.
rogue.
shocker, you managed to find like You managed to find your way down into the private cargo stash, like where the machine that they made the hot chocolate was. This isn't a secret to people, but you do find your way down there, and there are some objects that you could like search through. With a 19, you could search through like one personal chest of,
I will
or
also,
one of the crates that's in the private storage.
I'm looking for booze.
I will say, as like owner of boat, there's also definitely like one or two like hidden compartments down there as well that I keep like my real personal shit. So
A
that's up to you,
19,
Dippy.
a 19 is not quite enough for that. I would say that would be like very hard, which would be like a 25. So
They probably found a few naughty magazines underneath the bed, though.
are we really making porn mags canon right now?
Yeah.
He's a sailor.
Listen, this is the end of the world. Of course, there's porn.
And then there's a New Orc City, like a big metropolis.
I
There's
mean,
gonna be a demand
wait a
for.
minute.
We're
There's
corrupting
gotta be a
we're
Kama
corrupting
Sutra.
hippies in our world. Of
You're
course,
not
there's porn.
thinking far enough into this.
So anyway,
You're really not thinking that far enough into this. He is a sailor that goes out for an extended period of time with another man. So
I
it's
am not a
just
man.
Porn, it's
I'm a
gay
thing.
porn.
That's true.
I'm a thing.
He goes out with a big, large rock.
Add that to the quote
Monstrosity.
wall. I'm not a man, I'm a thing.
Nope.
we have
Okay,
our
so,
Janet of the group.
So with the 19, you can look through one of the. You can either look through one of the crates, or you could like examine the cart, like the snack cart that.
I'm going through a crate. Big shot.
Okay. You can easily like peek open a crate. Dadley, I need you to. I'm gonna roll. Actually, I need you to roll a d4 because there are some. I would say there are 4 crates down here.
Okay. That's a 2.
He is currently looking through your ship's like ration stores.
The ration stores?
So like seaworthy food and barrels of clean water, seaworthy food, and like emergency supplies for stuff like that.
Can I pilfer his emergency bottle of booze?
Which one do you want to pilfer, the scotch or the rum?
I would just, as sea captain, trying to be a good host, there's probably more like a brown, a clear, and a wine.
Yeah.
So like scotch, rum, and wine.
Yeah,
So-
scotch, rum, and wine.
1, 2, scotch, 3, 4, rum, and 5, 6. I pilfer the wine,
There you go.
and it is a 5. I steal the wine.
You take a look at the bottle, and it's very bare bones. There's no label. It's just marked with what looks like a white like magic marker or a white like crayon. It's just marked EWS, and it's. You can tell this is like, you like hold it up to a light, and you can see some like little fermentation bits floating around inside.
So this is
Not the-
terrible. I'm turning my character into a closet alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's session 2.
Getting a rocky start here. So yeah, there's still fermentation bits in this wine. It's not well processed. It's emergency for a reason.
That was good enough.
Yeah.
I love how we made it canon that there's a bottle of rum out in the open and you pillaged through a crate for a bad bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Well, who
Pretty
says I'm not
much.
taking that too?
Fair.
So, how long before someone comes down here?
Probably until we land. I'm manning
I
the
was
ship.
gonna say.
Nobody saw you leave. Like,
It's not. So let me say this. It's not a secret that it's not a secret that all 3 of you watch Damon like wander down into the bottom storage.
if anything, actually, wouldn't it make sense if the bathroom was down there as well?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Below deck.
So
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah, you have plenty of time down there.
Yeah.
Except
I'll go ahead
Except-
and take a pause to me and let other people do things.
So
I do have a critter that is now
well, yeah, we did talk about
sentient.
this.
and I want to say he's as aware of his surroundings as anyone else is, and possibly because I made it has a little bit of my knowledge / intuition approximate. So it's probably doing the due diligence of checking on everyone and going down. So after a few minutes, you'll hear this.
So what form would it be in this moment?
I'm
'Cause we talked
thinking.
about a few.
Yes. Is a meerkat too big?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
Meerkat.
Or the little mink.
The little mice, but with the long tail.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a meerkat, right?
You mean a possum?
No.
A mouse with a long tail. Like a
There are-
chinchilla?
That
chinchilla
Wow,
doesn't
this
have
is
a
the
long
worst. This is the
tail?
worst game of.
No,
this is the
it's-
worst game of Guess Who.
Also, a
ever.
chinchilla would absolutely die in the conditions of this world. Like, they would fucking just die.
Not if it was made of metal.
Fair.
True. Okay.
Like
We're
we're
talking
talking
about inorganic material. Got it. Never mind.
inorganic, taking on
Like
the
a
shape
kangaroo
of
rat.
something organic. Yes.
Yeah, a kangaroo
what a
rat.
chinchilla is.
Like a little mouse, like a little fluffy mouse, like
Yes.
a little fluffy looking type
Like a
mouse with a
gerbil?
long tail.
Kind of.
No, gerbils don't have tails.
We
Gerbils have
figured it
tails.
out. It's a kangaroo rat.
It's a
It's
kangaroo.
a kangaroo rat,
It's a
basically.
kangaroo.
It's. Anyways, whatever
Anyway.
that image.
Ferrets.
You would
got
all
longer
notice.
Ferrets don't
ears.
have tails.
Ferrets.
Well, ferrets
yeah,
have-
ferrets are just long.
Ferrets are a tail.
Yeah, ferrets are just tubes of fur. So, moving onwards, all of you would at some point notice a little metal kangaroo rat kind of hopping around. You know, just being its cute little self. None of you would take too much mind to this, except Damon. As you're like examining this crate and you pull out this bottle of emergency wine, you see doing a little hip hop down the set of stairs, just the little like boom, 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 is a little metal kangaroo rat that looks like straight at you, and it just like stops.
As I hear it thumping down the stairs, I want to roll a sleight of hand to swipe the bottle of rum too.
Metal on metal, I could see that.
Okay. If you focused on it, you could see it. It's like it is an action to like focus sight inside, and if you can make a roll to see if that would be your priority right now, but I would say thematically that's not exactly your top focus because you are still technically in the middle of that conversation when this is happening, or you are on the tail end of it. You would
That
Make a
wasn't
perception
so
check.
good. That was a 12.
12.
Oh god.
You are staring at the kangaroo rat with your hand reaching over to try and like sneak the bottle, and you like tap it and it like tips and it's just like boom. Do you want to try to catch it?
Yes.
Okay, so you easy enough. You're just sacrificing stealth for this. You just kind of like fumble around with the bottle and you grip it with both hands and it doesn't hit the floor, but everybody heard like the sound of a glass bottle being fumbled around in the bottom deck.
Sundial,
Yes.
I think he's stealing booze. I don't care if he wants a drink. Can you just make sure he's not going to drink anything nasty like the wine I still have? I really got to remember to throw that thing out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And begin to go walk downstairs.
You see our shadowy elf friend Damon. He has a bottle of wine attached to his hip, and the bottle of rum in two hands. The silence is deafening.
You just feel eyes on you, but you're not sure where they're from.
I'm just gonna full on commit. Look around. Take the bottle of wine, take off my bag and stick him in it.
All right.
If you're gonna drink either one of those, drink the wine first. And go back upstairs.
Nice. All right, and you go back
Wait.
up the stairs.
He can lie?
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course, Sundial. You think Sundial doesn't have a sense of humor?
Not so far.
Wonderful.
He's fucking 2.
There you go.
What? I'm just curious. What's Quinlan and Willow been doing on the boat? Well,
Yeah, that was where I was about to go. Quinlan
Okay.
and Willow. Is there anything specifically you would have been doing during this time?
Meditating, enjoying the cocoa.
Before we get to them, can I, like, when I go back up to Zog, I'm just gonna be like, I got rid of the wine for you.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Beautiful. All right. So with that all out of the way, I will treat the rest of this as downtime. Tesla, you mentioned maintenance.
We didn't know what Willow was doing.
Willow, what did you? Did
So
you want to
did
do
I-
anything?
Did I see the little kangaroo?
You did.
go? My question is, does it look a lot like a kangaroo to the point where I
Kangaroo rat. It's a
Rat,
little.
okay.
So it's like a little mouse. It's like a little mouse type thing with a really long tail and
And
it's
big
just kinda
ears.
like- yeah. Big ears.
Okay, I was just wondering if, because I saw it, would I be able to use my wild shape with it?
You
So
That's a
The new
good
wild
question.
shape animals you've seen as robots.
Make a.
you know what?
Make a druid check.
Okay, I want to make. Okay.
Beautiful.
This is gonna
What
be
fucking-
2 checks that you need to beat a combined DC for. So make
Okay.
a nature check first to see if you recognize the animal. Well, you don't have, or if you can recognize like what it would be.
That's a 9 for the first one.
Oh god.
Okay. Okay.
Really?
Still possible. Still possible.
Dice
Uh,
are hating me.
No.
So you take a look at this thing and you're like, what a curious little creature. So you don't have any kind of in for the next check of like, I wonder if I could turn into that thing. So your next check is going to be an Arcana check, basically mimicking the shape at this point. If you had gotten any higher on your nature, then
Before
this might have been easy.
Willow makes that check, can I give you an inspiration die to re-roll the 9?
No, it's already happened at this point.
Okay.
yeah.
Now my question is, should I do digital dice or real dice? Which one's gonna
That's
You were
up to you.
rolling so hot
With
last
the-
session.
With the way that things are going for you right now, I'd go digital, and if it's
I would
worse,
save it for something important.
That 9 was a digital dice.
Oh.
Oh.
I go physical.
Then use real. I go physical.
physical.
Drum roll, please.
Physical.
That's a 5 and I rolled a 1. So
Oh,
no.
God.
Yeah, you kind of like focus your energy, and you're just like, but I can't, like, I haven't seen a real one. And it's
Can I
like-
just say
I'm
welcome
like,
back, Fantasy Lover?
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Last week was just a fluke, so
Question.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
welcome back. Your evil clone, your evil
Dippy.
like won't roll less than an 18 clone has
Dippy.
disappeared. Yeah.
Can she be able to wild shape into those creatures that we saw off the side of the boat when we first started our trip?
Their CR is a little higher than she would be able
But
to do right
maybe
now, but she
later?
would be able to do it later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
Because that's just a natural thing. That's just a
Yeah.
creature.
There you go.
But they're not.
Such
What
a
is the
dope doll.
CR you can do right now? You can do a 1/8 right now, correct?
Let's
I
check.
believe unless she is a Circle of the Moon, it's like 1/4 of their level. Circle of the Moon is 1/2.
A quarter of your level,
Yeah.
which would be
Wow, this sucks. It doesn't actually tell me.
weird.
Second level, I get 1/4.
A quarter.
Yeah.
So you're close. You would be able to wild shape into a quadrilope in a couple of levels.
Okay.
And I believe in D&D it rounds up. So
There you go.
Okay.
So now we'll do downtime stuff. Tesla, you will be making I would say tinkering checks. So add your intelligence and your proficiency to, I'm gonna say, depending on how much maintenance you want to do, it'll be a different number of rolls. Son, you
just-
are
oh.
cleaning the boat.
yes.
So that will be You'll do it, but I'm going to describe some things that aren't.
I can make
covered by
charisma
the-
checks if you want to see how well I clean,
There you go.
and just make it seem how good I'm, like, see how nice I make it, or if I paint.
Yeah, we're all
like,
gonna
chip the
we're
paint.
gonna settle these all kind of at the same time. What level are the players? We are level 2.
DOS. This is episode 2. Level 2.
Dos. There you go. Does anyone else want to do any other downtime? Quinlan, you're meditating. There's not necessarily a check to meditate, but if you wanted to focus on something, I could have a check related to it.
Zog, it's probably not a roll or anything. Zog, just while he is like manning the boat, is saying yet another prayer to his god, not for his safety this time, for like the safe passage of the ones lost in the storm that just passed.
Easy enough.
You said intelligence and proficiency?
Yep, add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency for a tinker check.
So that would
I
be
would
like the
be-
tools, right?
Yes,
The tinker tools? Okay.
that would be using your toolkit to do maintenance.
So 23.
So what time of day will we be getting there?
Considering this is the same day, it would be a little bit later in the afternoon.
Okay. It's a little early to
Um,
start drinking hard just yet.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Better sip that
Somewhere.
wine then.
The original name of my boat was Margaritaville.
Oh.
Yes.
Little
Margarita
behind the
Mill?
scenes, little
Wow.
insider information for you.
Good,
Uh,
I'm finally starting to clean the toad schooner.
So, Tesla, what were you fixing first?
Oh, just first the easy stuff, little things that could be fixed really quickly. Anything
Okay.
like if the steering wheel was a little loose, it kind of
Don't
Didn't-
touch my steering wheel. It's mine.
So, the loading crane.
yeah, just anything that might look like a safety hazard as well.
Except we're actually driving
So-
and you take the wheel off. It's like, gotta fix this real quick. It's like,
Here, yeah. Okay, so with a 23, you blow through the crane, the mast, and there are some like wood borer holes on some of the like walls that like encompass the deck. And you're easily able to patch over the holes, fix the crane, make it move smooth again, and the
Oil things up,
mast,
yeah.
And as you kind of move inwards, like down towards the engine compartment and like other stuff like that, with a 23, a lot of patchwork gets done, some oil work gets done. You do get a little bit of oil in the steering wheel, and Zog, you feel less resistance in your rudder control.
I instantly, like, not used to the less resistance, jerk
Yeah.
the boat a little too hard. Like,
Everyone feels like a little shift in the weight of the boat, and it's just like, no disadvantage or anything, just enough of a shift that it's felt.
I look at Willow and I say, "Did I really drink that much earlier?"
Yes.
I also like to note as I'm going along to like leave markings. Maybe I have my own little piece of chalk to write on metal to
yeah.
go around and mark things that need to be like really looked at later and done with the proper tools and stuff.
The
I like
biggest
to
things that
imagine-
you mark, the biggest things you mark in that way are the engine itself, and the
Why am I not surprised?
The entire
and
engine.
the there's like a mechanism that opens up like the middle of the deck to the deck below in the bulkhead, so that the bigger cargo can be like in the ship, not rolling around on the top deck. That definitely needs a look. And
I like to imagine Sundial is, like, cleaning the chalk marks.
oh, and the
And
cart,
you're
and the and
It's like,
the
oh,
snack
I
cart.
missed a spot.
The last big thing that you mark in that way is the snack cart. But Sundial would be done fast enough that those chalk marks would not be affected by what Sundial is doing.
It's
Sundial.
just going backwards and just being like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
Sundial.
Missed it.
Maybe he
Yeah.
overlaps me. He goes past me.
So,
I clean her on accident.
oh god.
It's like you have
Well,
all this oil. It's like, okay, I don't need to take a shower yet. All of it's off.
Starting-
It's like,
After
Fuck.
your conversation ends, you go to like the front of the boat
mhm.
and you just start like just magically scrubbing away years, it seems, of grime and like sea salt and just in some places what looks like just like detritus of sea creatures just like burrowed themselves into the front of the boat. A lot of that is like lifted away. It's like lifted away. And the boat begins to.
Are there little things that I find on the side of the boat that like Sundial might want to keep, like minerals and such?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
But eventually, bow to stern, you clean the entire boat of all of its surface level grime and refuse.
Okay, 14.
14. There's a couple of little calcite deposits, you know, a couple of little, maybe a little bit of iron scrap kind of embedded into the sides of the boat. Nothing too big, but you know, you can easily just like pick them out and just like, and it goes into a little orbit around you, as most of the smaller objects do.
Okay.
But nothing too much more substantial than that. What is not cleaned off of the boat are the barnacles that are stuck to the side, the gash marks of previous crashes into either wood banks or docks, the dented metal on the bracer ribs, and and what appears to be like a big rock that's embedded like really, really deeply into the side of the boat. It hasn't punctured through to create a hole in the bulkhead, but it's like a big rock that it just seems like it's stuck. And even with a gentle tug, you can't pull that rock out without fearing you're going to damage something else.
I would put money.
If you don't care, you can just rip it out.
I would like to investigate around it, like check underneath the hole and see like if it's structurally keeping us from getting like a hole in like the bottom of it, or if it's keeping us like together.
It's not keeping you together. It's just it's a plug for a hole that would be created if you tried to rip it out.
Okay.
So,
it definitely has a smiley face painted on it.
Use mold earth to be able to form the rock to plug it even better.
Read mold earth really quickly for me, because this is sounding like the components of another the way of another spell. Wow, stream is Minecraft.
So I can't help but feel like we should all roll up characters from when
You choose
Sundial sinks the
a
boat.
portion of dirt or stone that you can
I'll be
see
fine.
within range and that fits within a 5-foot cube. You can manipulate it, it into one of the following ways. If you target the area, lose earth, instantly evacuate.
You read the important part.
Okay, it's stone. Yeah.
Earth or stone that fits in a 5-foot cube. Okay, so yeah, you can use mold earth, and you just easily enough. It's just like you see the stone go from like a jut to like flush with the surface, and it kind of molds itself into the natural seams of the wood and like kind of creating a nice little patch.
Can it be a little artsy with it and try and make it like look kind of nice on the bottom? Like
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You make it so that it kind of gains a natural wood grain texture.
It kind of has like a little bit of like a gear type of look, or like a time kind of look to it.
Yeah. And it's fixed.
Okay.
And on this now, what would be a beautiful like golden brown exterior of a very rich looking wood ship floating down the river now is a patch of almost like slate gray that has incorporated itself into the boat via a spell, and almost looks like it's leaking, like kind of like spreading along through little cracks. And you know that method of repairing pottery where you melt gold and it like molds to the shape of the pottery? That's what you've essentially done with this, what was basically just like a little turdlet of a rock that was stuck in the side of the boat.
It's putty.
With the boat. Yeah. You puttified it.
As the boat's getting clean, Zod yells at Damon. It's like, is that better now? You happy?
And in the process, all of the other chairs are immaculately clean as well.
It's better, but I'm not really ever happy.
I soil Damon's pants.
Oh God.
I think
Boy.
Damon is the only person who can soil Damon's pants.
No, prestidigitation lets me soil his pants.
A piece of clothing can be. Now, this is in the context of dirt, not the other thing. So, Damon,
I'm
you
sorry.
instantly see your trousers kind of like go from clean to less like you've been playing around in like dust.
Yes,
Sundial, be nice to our guests.
I am nice.
Yeah,
So
put dirt
you
on
said
him.
that in the area where you first laid us is where your bed and things were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a pillow and start like brushing the dust off with his pillow.
Easy enough. The dust is kind of like
That's gonna be right
just
near
like-
me. I just said it was right by the cap, like where I'm driving
Yeah.
the shift.
yeah.
So you're doing that next to me?
And
Yep.
Oh my.
easily, so some dust is kind of like puffing up, like spreading in the space. Zog, you start to cough a little bit as he's doing this, and it's like, really, dude? Like,
Zog just like looks at him and is just like, I gave you my booze, and you are going to fuck
Oh,
with
sorry.
where
is
I
this
sleep.
yours? I thought it was Sundial's.
Does that man look like he needs a pillow?
Yes.
I'll walk in at this point after
Everybody
having made
needs a
my marks.
pillow.
Wipe my hands off. Hey, David, could you excuse us just a minute?
Okay.
and you are talking to.
Zog,
Okay.
I ruffle Damon's hair as he's walking out.
I'll take the pillow from his hand.
Boom.
Um,
He's just tossed back onto the bed, and you
Yeah.
step aside.
And a cloud of dust.
Is Sundial in the room with Gear and
Yeah,
with
you
Tesla
could have made
and-
your way. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sundial, do you want to,
Oh.
I don't want to.
well then, could you
No.
do it?
Okay.
What a perfect interaction.
So, I
Zog.
look at, as me and Sundial walk out, Mom and Dad not happy with you.
What is a mother? What is a father?
Ooh.
And I just walk away.
That's good, because if you had stuck around, I would have just walked away.
Oh God.
All right, Tesla, what's up?
Dog, I have a question. Well, no, actually, more of a observation. You were particularly surprised when I mentioned to the courier, Macat, that you were my friend. Is that
Yeah,
not how I should see you?
I'm just how do I play this right now?
Ooh.
I'm just like, I'm gonna look at Tesla and be like, it's just life's weird, and like want to roll a deception check of like he's trying not to say something. Like,
Okay.
Go for it.
I don't know if like
Stepped all the
as
way.
DM if that would be a deception check or an insight on them or anything you want.
Send me a private message about what you're trying to deceive.
Okay.
But be very careful, because if you fail the deception, you will have to end up.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to play it straight.
Private message.
Secrets are fun.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Secrets.
Yeah, that would be. I would
Like-
say.
As a human, I don't know what to do in these situations. So
Wait just a moment
okay.
while I check something else.
Hey, while this is going on, chat, how's your Friday nights going?
Yes. Hello, chat. I can't see you, but howdy.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's already a headcanon going on in chat.
Oh,
yeah,
shit! What is it?
Zog is Sundial's father, new headcanon? No, Zog is not
no,
Sundial's father.
Zog has mommy issues.
Yeah, he is, cause he's your son. Dial.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I'm not his father, but he is my son.
God.
1 second, y'all.
I just imagine Zog pulling the "Never speak to me or my son again" all the time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I can't wait for that moment.
I don't know why I got flagged either, but I allowed it in. It for some reason it told me that it flagged Zog as Sundial's the father, so I had to
Yeah.
let it in.
Yeah.
Flag it?
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
We'll talk about that.
I'm like, it has nothing to do with any of that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and roll a deception check. I would say it's more of a performance check, but if you want it to be a deception, you can.
They're both +2, so.
Okay.
They're both +2, and I rolled a nat 1.
Oh,
Rough, buddy.
so
Oh shit!
Tesla, what's basically happening is Zog is fumbling his words over a very, like, you can tell almost immediately that he's trying to play the tough guy.
Okay.
And you don't even need an insight for that. That's just how this is, like, sounding.
Like, I don't need friends kind of thing?
Kind of more like he doesn't. The best way I can say it is like you've asked him a question that just like doesn't compute in his brain. He's like, I don't know how to answer this right now because I have 4 mental states. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Eat, sleep, boat, and
yeah.
Okay, well, at this point, during his fumbling, she'll interrupt him and say, you know, as somebody I employ on occasion, I'm going to hold it to you to require you to come to dock and get your ship maintained at least every 6 months. And if we happen to go for lunch and have a drink, so be it. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right. From now
pretty
on,
sure that's
I want.
frowned upon in the workplace.
Well, when you own your own business, you can do what you want.
Monk, you have employees on Snapchat.
oh my god. Oh,
Anyways, so in character, are we agreed on this?
Yes. Agreed.
Okay. And if I call you a friend because of this agreement, are you going to be shocked?
Every time.
Then get used to that feeling. And I walk out.
there you
I mouth the words to Sundial. What's the purpose of a friend?
go. Oh. Have an inspiration point.
Oh, okay.
All right.
A friend
So.
is companionship.
So.
Hey, wasn't that my line last time?
It was.
There you go. He's learning a machine
What are
algorithm.
friends?
Oh. So, I would say at about this point, the travel is coming to a close. You are approaching the port of Eastern Moran.
Oh, God.
Moran is a big enough town that it can be divided into east-west, but this is more so just the port of Moran. The dock you set off from is kind of like a private dockyard for Tesla.
Hey, Dippy, what side is east and what side is west?
So, as you've been traveling up the river, on the map, if you dare to look, and you can zoom in on your private copy that I've sent to you in Discord, you've been it's upriver because of the flow of the river, but it's down on the map.
So are
So
we
you've gone
stage
from...
east or actual east?
Shut up. Anyway, you're approaching the lower half of what would be Moran Town. All right. Quinlan, you have a new inspiration point from chat.
Aw.
Nice.
Yay. I spelled it right. Yeah.
There you go. So, as you're pulling into the port, you begin to notice the typical hustle and bustle of a portside industrial area. You see fishmongers shouting their wares at folks, and in their stands you see fish that are much bigger than they're supposed to be. They have more fins than they're supposed to have. They have more eyes than they're supposed to have. They have less bones than they're supposed to have. Just
That sounds
all
like a good
kinds
fish.
of... Just sounds like these are all like different kinds of fish.
Oh, I was thinking.
And then you see
bigger fish,
one
less
that's
bones.
all four of those things, and it costs like 1,000 gold. No.
I've been traveling for a while, guys. That I wouldn't eat that fish.
I mean,
You see craftsmen selling their crafts and fare and their artisanal affairs in their own stands. You see just a veritable bazaar of sorts, kind of set up at this port. Smaller than most, but still functional in its own right. You see a large inhabiting station, a custom station for boats to kind of pass through or next to for inspection purposes. Zog, you would be very familiar with this custom station. You've stopped there many a time. Tesla, you are aware of these custom stations too. You were kind of stopped at one earlier in your travels.
Mhm.
But this one is, it has a big old tower that has a clock on it that tells a fairly accurate rendition of the time. You see that one of the clock faces is just completely missing one of the hands, but the other ones, you can tell the time off of pretty well.
I just do like a pure luck check if Zog has that other arm, like that other clock arm in his boat. That seems like the perfect, like, I stole this story.
Roll a percentile die. I have a number that you have to roll higher than for this to be true.
Okay. Alright, let's do this. Ah! I dropped. 68.
No, you do not have the other hand to this clock.
Yeah, alright. I'll stop distracting.
You were close though.
Sun
Was it
Anyway.
69?
It's back at
Roll a
Tesla's
percent- no.
junkyard.
Listen, I will.
No, that was a joke. It was a joke. It was a
Okay.
joke. You wouldn't have it if it's not on the boat.
No.
It's in Tesla's
No.
junkyard.
Tesla, roll it. No, don't do that.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So,
He's told me the story, but I know what actually happened.
yeah. Yeah. So, as you are pulling into port, you kind of get the feeling that, like, and you always kind of have to pull sort of close to customs, and the customs, the customs fella pretty well.
Yeah.
Let me see here. He is a half-orc fella. Goes by the name Lamorth. Where did my pen go? There it went. And he kind of notices you pulling up. And he just kind of like squints at you. And he's just like, "You're not carrying anything new into port, are you?"
I mean, I'm carrying new people. They've never been
They
here
don't
before.
count. Any cargo, anything I should know about below deck?
No, nothing like that.
All right, go ahead. And you kind of pull past, and there's a dockyard with their own individual piers that you pull boats up to park.
Is there a docking fee at all?
No.
Cool. All right.
If
If there was, I assume that you'd have like some kind of passport, a business passport allows you in and
Yeah.
out,
Okay.
a
in
yearly
this
fee kind
case-
of thing.
Larger ports have that. Moran's is small enough that you don't need to worry about that for now.
Okay.
So you pull up, and you tie off the boat, and you all
I do.
disembark in the port of Moran proper. And all kinds of folks are walking about the port. You know, some obviously irradiated, some obviously tourists. To Quinlan, Willow, and Damon, you notice that there are a few fey enkindled type folk walking around as well, which you find a little odd. But they are, as you look at them, they're more like in tune with the land because they've been born and raised with the land type, instead of visiting from Petal type folk.
As everyone's getting
Damon,
off
you're
the
muted.
boat.
Bye.
Couldn't hear that.
I only heard the last word of that.
So I look at Quinlan and I say, I'm not the only one who thinks that's a little weird, am I?
Oh, 'tis quite strange indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Strange enough seeing the two of you together, but now
Yeah,
Running into you
seems
was
like I need to travel more.
running into you was a surprise to me.
Well, that much was obvious. You didn't even notice when me and your fairy friends started talking.
I have a name.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Widow. It's
Widow?
You mean Willow?
Wow.
You hear Zog yell from the back. It's William.
just pay attention to driving this toad schooner.
Zog.
Yeah.
It's
I mean-
Willow.
We're
It's
docked.
Willow. Yeah, we're docked now. As like
So
everyone's
Thank you, son.
You would be disembarking at this point.
as everyone's getting off the boat, Zog starts yelling like, just big rule. When we're in a port like this, the people that are yelling the loudest have the most shitty goods to sell. They don't have to be yelling if they have actually something good to sell.
You hear like a merfolk next to you go, I resent that, sir. How dare you?
Okay. Are you gonna be yelling to try to sell me things?
He's already been yelling. He was one of the folks who was selling.
Oh.
He was one of the artisans.
So I'm
Does-
gonna look at him. So don't buy from that guy.
Yeah, no, don't buy from that guy.
Ah, rude. And then he just like turns and starts yelling in the opposite direction. Like, you
What is
do
that man
notice.
selling, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Quinlan's
look over
gonna
at his
look.
stand and check?
Can I just
Yes.
see what it is?
Yeah.
He is selling what looks like little wood carved like statuettes, like knickknacks, basically.
Can I
Um,
insight check to see if they're made well?
No need. You
Okay.
see that.
you already called them out on it.
I know, but
They
now
are
I want to know if I was right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
look at the few that he's like featuring up at the front. They're not painted, but they're carved pretty well. You know,
They're
you'd
not
say
even
like
painted.
you'd say like you'd say like scale of 1 to 10. They're about 6.5, 7.
Okay.
How much is he
I look at
asking for
Zog.
them?
Yeah.
The one that he's featuring most prominently at the front is it's a statuette about like yay tall, depicting a merfolk with a trident, like riding a wave behind him, and like some fish kind of like underneath him, carved in like impressioned into the wave. It's a really intricate looking carving, and he's selling it for
Pretentious.
100 gold pieces.
How
I look at
pretentious to
Zog.
have your
I turn to
featured
Zog.
item
How
featuring-
pretentious? What?
How pretentious to have that as your featured item. There are too many people here, and I'm gonna walk off to a quiet corner.
Okay. A quiet corner would be like leaving the bazaar in the direction of like the buildings of town. So, as you're walking in that direction, you pass by some more folks, but we'll get to them when the group walks past them.
Tesla,
Gears,
what
you
are
were
you trying
saying
to do?
something?
Yeah, I turn to Zog and I'm like, I said I would repair your boat and keep it maintained. I did not say I was going to bail you out of jail again.
They can't get me in jail. I learned my lesson the first 5 times.
First,
Gear
Bye.
yeah.
Quinlan is just
For
gonna
the-
look at you concerned.
for the word again. Take an inspiration point. That's perfect. I love it.
Quinlan, I'm gonna give you some advice right now. Just because you're breaking the law doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. The laws here are made by people who don't give a shit about people like me.
I also feel like Zog hasn't been to jail since Sundial's been around for some reason.
that is definitely
for sure.
You've been keeping him out of not
Tesla's
that
made
you've
that
been
threat
keeping him out of
before.
trouble, but you are the thing that has been keeping him out of trouble since he found you, basically.
Tesla's
Whether
made
that's
that threat
subconscious
before.
or not.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, are you all just kind of walking in the direction
Laws
that
are
Damon is?
threats
To...
made by the governing body.
That's literally the speech I was like biting my tongue not to say.
So, are you all kind of walking the direction Damon is to keep the group semi together?
Is there anything cool around? Like,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my question
Could
as
I
well.
investigate around?
So
Like,
this is a very open-ended question, which I'm going to answer as you're kind of. Are you walking? Are you wandering, or are you walking to keep the group together?
I'm just
Because
gonna
if you're wandering, then I can describe loads of interesting things that you find. But if you're walking with a purpose, like to continue something that you're following up with your friend Tesla here, you might see less interesting things, but there are still interesting things. That's my job.
I'm looking for like arcanic, like interest things. Like
Okay.
if I'm getting an arcanic vibe off of anything,
Sure.
because everything's
Same.
just like kind of like.
I would like to say, before everyone splits off, Tesla's like, okay, the dock will hold us for as long as we want to be here. If you guys are going to come back, we need to know what time. I'm probably going to be at least 4 to 5 hours. If you guys want to come back then,
You look up
If
at the
not-
clock. The clock reads 2:30
afternoon.
let's
in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay,
let's meet back here by like 9. 9 sound good?
that's yes, because 9. Unless you guys get a place, or what do you folks want to do? Is this your port? Are we done? Because like if you're gonna get a place inland and like an inn, then we'll just leave without you. But I am here specifically to find out some information, and once I have it, I know I have a room on the ship.
Sundial sleeps on ship.
Just to put this out there, I wouldn't have actually left the group. I just walked toward the edge and keep an
Yeah.
eye on everybody.
Yeah.
I saw them moving off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Quinlan,
Which in this context, Damon, that's more of what I meant in the original telling. It's like the boardwalk is a thin piece of land, like a thin piece of real estate that takes up the entirety of like the edge, and this is where the bazaar area kind of is. The buildings are like the next thing if you're walking vertically into town.
Think of it like the emo kid. I'll be over here when you guys decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of stand yourself up against the corner of a building. You look up to the sign and you see that it reads Tharazal's Blacksmith.
Nice.
looking at Tesla, I'm just gonna say, you asked for help. That is why I came.
I mean, did I ask for help? I look over at Zog.
Not with words, but you looked worried, and I made suggestions. And now you got a
You
little
did.
team on your hands.
You
Let's
kind of
go.
shuffled everyone under your boat. I mean, you were yelling at everyone to get that you had a bed, which is kind of weird and creepy. Just gotta let you know that.
Look, I'm willing to share my bed with any person here. That's all I'm saying. Not in a weird way. And like, hey, body heat is nice, and sometimes I miss human touch.
Zog,
or,
this is
you
the
know,
point where you
Or
stop.
touch,
After-
or
Remember we
I-
talked about this? This is the point where you stop. Like this,
I,
we're good. we get it. We get it.
Damon, there's
Okay.
a bar.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine.
He's a
Um,
little talkative. He gets a little excited around more people. The more
But,
people get around, he
yeah.
gets a little fatty.
Dippy, has
Yes.
Sundial like explored around this dock before?
No.
No. So he
Really?
doesn't know any like interesting areas here.
No, because I think the wait. No, yeah,
You-
he could have.
In the time between Zog finding you, and now, you haven't really disembarked at the port.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Zog looks at Tesla and is like, we got a team. You got an issue. Give us a little mission debrief, and we can figure out what we can do.
Okay. Well, I'm looking to see. There's supposed to be no one else who has my business here. If there is, there's competition. I'd like to welcome them. However, they are taking my clients, so that's not exactly competition. That's stealing. So I want to know a little bit more. If you guys are willing to help out, investigate. Please don't get me arrested. I need to keep my business.
Are you guys still off over there, or did you walk to where I was kind of standing?
I'd assume we're like walking and talking.
This is this
I think
conversation is happening as a group where you're kind of like standing and
Yeah, I
you're
figured
discussing.
we stopped at the end of the dock, but as we got off and like.
It's
Yeah.
not stealing if they offer a better product.
Oh, you sweet summer child. This whole area is made of the same material as what's at my place. Technically, there is no better product. Better service, better price, maybe. But it's all the same junk. Where are you from?
You're good now, Quinlan. It did for a little bit, but you're good.
A ways away.
Okay, yeah. Nope. Like, maybe. Nope, they can't. Like, the only way to offer a better product would be to know what I'm selling and then do better than that. And there's only a few ways to do that. And one. Well, I'm not really going to entertain that now, but we'll get into it. That's. I need to know a little bit more information before I go that depth. And my clients aren't really telling me why they're leaving, so that's another thing.
How close are where we are to the wedding me and Sundial were going to?
Probably 2 days.
Good question. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay.
So is that the end of your point?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
thing. I think because at this point, I don't exactly know who to go talk to, except maybe the innkeeper that I stayed at with last time.
Yes. Did I give you a name last time, or must I give you a name now? Because
No, you gave me one for Moran, I think.
Yes.
There was Kane's Deli, and then there was the High Ox Inn.
Oh yeah, hold on. The High Ox is closer to your place than the other innkeepers.
Oh, okay, so it's not in Moran. It's not in
where-
Moran. It's by me. Okay.
The Eastern Moran kind of district where you are now, there would be a slightly different place, which you would be familiar with, but I did not give you a name for you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't have that information.
Okay. So, yes. So you are all aware of the mission now. You are trying to find out information for Tesla about competition or possible business stealing, business acquisition, in the area. And also you're just here to explore because this is a new place to quite a few of you. Damon will have... Oh, okay. Damon will be right back.
Mhm.
And you know what? Let me check stream time. How long have we been up for?
140.
Hour and 40. I would say now would be a good time. We know what we're doing.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead, take a 10-15 minute break. When we come back, we will explore Moran together.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
Back, everybody. Sit tight.
And welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you very much for sticking around. We're going to continue with the second part of our episode here.
We're gonna start playing the KFC dating sim now.
No,
Why not?
that's for Monday. Tune in for the Dapper D's on Mondays.
Yes.
So,
Push the button.
you've all gotten your general briefing about what
Yep.
you're doing. You can totally ignore that now if you'd like. Or we can
Yes, let's ignore the mission.
go- yeah, so just
So
whatever
then I was
y'all would
going
like to do.
Try and steal Willow.
I guess I'll ask this.
and We're gonna go
Who
have fun.
wants I guess I'm asking this. Who is like strictly helping out Tesla with their like scouting and their information and stuff, and who is just like, this is a new area, I just want to wander and explore. So
I'm
hands up now
yeah.
for wandering, and everybody else I'll just assume is for Tesla's
I'll
stuff.
Can I do both?
I was gonna say I'm kind of doing both. Of like I have a little bit of a plan.
Okay, what do you want to do first?
I am going to try to find like I'd assume I know like my headphones are all good now. I know like the sailor bars and whatnot. I'm like gonna go to like one of the more like sailory bars and start asking around, like obviously get a drink and chill, but like start asking around of like what kind of shipments have you been taking and like stuff like that, seeing if someone's been pulling stuff similar to me or
All right, cool.
I'm gonna take.
So we are
Zog
going to
hold
individually
Dippy.
act out a lot
Yeah.
of these. So
up. Dippy, I'm gonna take Zog to the side and Tesla. You're like, we should get to know our passengers.
I will try to ask if Quinlan
should
wants
take
to go to the
Damon.
bar with me. Oh, Damon wants to go to the bar with me.
Tesla, you should take Quinlan. I'll take Willow.
Do you want to? If you just want to hang out with Willow, you can tell
If
us.
you, yeah, you can just hang out with Willow if you want.
We have to listen. Quentin needs a babysitter.
Quinlan is the one I think needs the babysitter the least.
So,
Kidding.
Mr. Dial, I hate to say it, if anybody needs a babysitter, it
You're
would
not
be
here.
You.
This is true.
The,
Did they
Damon,
walk
make a
off?
perception check.
I was gonna say, because weren't we just all next to each other?
Yes.
I took Zog to the side.
He's
We're all
he's
kind of
he
like
pulled up
splitting
the side.
off. We're
How
all kinda,
far
like,
away did you walk us before you
we
started
were-
talking?
Yeah, we were splitting off. Yeah, how quickly
And you had
did you
walked off,
start?
Damon.
Yeah.
He's still been with us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
I
just a
still
few
with
feet.
you.
Okay.
So make a perception check.
Okay.
Damn.
8 plus
Ooh.
3, so 11.
You catch bits and pieces, but none of the bits and pieces that mention you.
Zog, you can take
So
Quinlan
would
if you
I
want.
catch the bits and pieces about who needs a babysitter?
That was not.
You
That was
would
above
hear
table.
you would hear the word babysitter, but no context.
I didn't actually say babysitter. So
You would
I
hear-
didn't actually say babysitter because one, he
Okay.
doesn't know what a babysitter is.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Okay.
True.
I'm
True.
sorry. I'm not
'Cause
trying to be
if
mean.
if I heard that, I would have made a comment about Sundial and Willow being the ones who need the most babysitting.
Mhm.
And I would have said Sundial and Widow would have needed babysitting.
Hmm. But in this moment, it doesn't pique your interest
So,
enough.
to the group, Zog is going to say, we should travel in pairs of 2. This is not the best of places.
But we should also take this as a time to get to know each other. Bye.
So we're looking for information on Tesla's business out here, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to go to one of the bars by me that I know a bunch of sailors go to. Does anyone want to come with?
And if you don't want to go to some shady, rundown, piss-swilling place they call a bar, I'm going into the local tavern.
You know, I don't much fancy being around people for very long, but I could use a drink.
You coming with me?
Coming with you is a bit strong. Near you, we'll go with that one.
You can ride on my back. It's fine. Hop on.
How tall are you?
5'11".
I kind of look down. Said, whose neck?
All right.
Anyways, so Willow, you can come with me. Sundial, wherever you want to go. I don't know if you're gonna. You're probably gonna be with Zog. Let's face it.
Tesla,
What?
I think Sundial has a thing for Willow. He wanted to go with her.
Oh, okay.
Wingman,
Um,
my robot.
I.
Am I a robot?
How can you ring man? Anyways,
Oh my god.
I'm going to the tavern. Who's with?
I'll accompany you.
Okay.
I guess that means Willow, you should hang out with Sundial. So you're not traveling these streets alone. You know,
Okay.
he knows his way around. Okay.
All right.
You.
That
So-
doesn't
Press-
worry you at all?
So we got pairs.
Mm-hmm.
I could just fly away, so.
Mm-hmm.
Sundial,
don't go
where
too
are you
far.
going?
I still
Who are
have-
you going to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
Sundial's doing his
Sundial is
own thing.
persuasive.
Nice. Yeah.
What's your
persuasion so score sorry.
again, Sundial?
My persuasion is a +6.
Whoa!
Nice.
Unexpected. All right.
I am a
That-
sorcerer, thank you very much. What the fuck do you
That is-
expect?
You got a good point. Okay, so Sundial and Willow, Zog and Damon, Tesla and Quinlan. All right. So we got our teams.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, actually, yes. I want to.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But,
Should we-
but
Okay.
less for fighting reasons, more for I want to see who I'm acting out and in what order.
Should we just roll like a d6 and see who gets the higher?
Uh,
Or are we doing
No,
like
we should all
rollies?
roll initiative and we
But
add
yeah,
our
do-
initiatives together.
do roll-
Like the pairs
do
added
rollies?
together.
Okay.
yeah, roll your
that.
initiative, and the combined initiative will be what determines.
Oh, okay, so like me and
Yeah.
Willow, we're gonna do we add our
Yeah.
decks or no?
Yeah, add your
Okay.
initiative. It's initiative.
Oh, I just rolled a d12. I'm
Nat 12.
Natural 12. Score. All right.
okay.
13.
So 13 plus Tesla.
Did you get-
Oh, 9.
22. Okay. Sundial
I've-
and Willow.
I got a 18.
18. 5.
Not a 5.
23. Okay,
I
so you're in the
also got
lead.
an 18.
Zog and
You got an
Zog and
18. We're going first because I rolled a 17.
Dang it.
18 plus, yeah, that's like
I knew that was
35.
going to happen.
Yeah, so
like
Yeah.
16 and 16, 18. Yeah. that was
okay,
gonna happen.
so Sundial and Willow. So Dono, Fantasy, Gear, and Rhys. You can all take a chill pill.
Okay.
Mute and on camera if you want to, or listen in if you want to. Whatever you'd like to do in this moment. Because we are going to play out a Dadley.
Let me move
Dadley
closer
and
to
Monk.
the desk.
There you go.
Come closer. Come closer.
Perfect.
I always want to be close to you.
Alrighty. So Zog
Not really.
and Damon.
I'd
As
assume
you are walking along, first of all, Zog, I need you to make a history check.
Okay.
See if you can see if you remember the directions.
17.
17, easy enough. So you're kind of walking along the boardwalk towards the Island Breeze.
Okay. And this is like kind
Uh,
of like the more sailory bar.
Yes, this
around.
is the Sailor's Bar that you are familiar with. You know where it is with that history check. You just have, and you're on your way there. As you're kind of passing by, you're stopped by what looks like a furbolg. He has long matted hair and like a really wide cow nose and like the little, like the jowl
Yep.
cleft in the middle of his nose and big thick, just a very cow, like a yak looking dude. He's like, and he kind of like puts a gentle arm out to like kind of grab onto your shoulder, Zog, and he's like, "Hey, man, I haven't seen you in ages. It's good.
I
You're acquainted."
instantly would like to do a dexterity check to make sure he doesn't touch me because I bet he's. Or actually, do I recognize him first and foremost?
Make a Let me look at my DM screen real quick. Where are you? There you are. Passive perception. No, passive insight. Yes, you do.
15. Okay, all right, never mind.
This is Cranor, Cranor, and he is a person that you have taken on your boat before. You have his initials CS.
Okay.
This is you would specifically know him as Cranor Starshine.
Okay.
And he is kind of like stopping you, like hesitant, like he's putting your hand out like towards your shoulder just to kind of like stop you in your tracks, but not touching until there's the look of recognition.
Okay. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, you've been out this way for a bit now. I haven't been out here in a while. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance again. Hey, do you want to take a look at some of the stuff I've been working on?
I'm kind of on a mission. I got my buddy Damon, and I point behind me, and I'm assuming Sneaky Rogue isn't behind me at the moment.
No, I'm like 6 steps back, kind of tucked out over by a wall.
Okay. I'm like, I got my buddy Damon, and there's not someone behind me.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's around.
Cranor is going to roll a perception check. I need you to roll a stealth, Damon.
15 plus 7, 22.
God damn. Yeah, no. He's like, Cranor looks behind you like, I don't see anyone.
Just an elf over against the wall with his hood up.
As I see like the confusion on his face, I'm like, hired muscle doesn't like to be seen, you know?
Hey,
I'm on
that's
him for his
fine,
shit.
man. If you're heading somewhere, I won't stop you. Just take a sample. And he holds a tiny bottle, like, you know, like a test tube.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it has a tiny bulb on the bottom that holds the liquid, and the rest of the neck of the bottle, it fills up to about halfway with a little cork.
Okay.
This
what
doesn't
is it,
look
man?
like a potion. It looks more like a craft brew. And he's like, a little something I've been working on. You know they have radioactive beehives up north of here?
Yeah.
So, you just said craft brew. So when I started taking notes for this section, I said verbal stopped us. Sounds like a hippie.
Yeah. He is. That's because he
He's
is.
giving me kombucha right now.
He is giving you a mead which uses honey from Lyramite bees.
I pocket it and I'm just like, okay, man, I'll hit you up after I'm done with my shit and we'll see how I like it.
Hey, man, just remember where I am. I'm always in this stall. And you look and you see, like, behind him are some bottles, you know, on little bottle racks, and you see he's tapped into a keg, and it seems like this is what he got the sample from. And on the side of the keg is a brand of a bee with like little like glowy lines around it.
Does it have a name or is it just a logo?
The name that is branded underneath the bee.
Bees, knees, meads?
No.
Oh.
Although that is very good. It is Vos Libby's mead. Vo you recognize as a name, and then Libby, Libee, is the type of bee that would have made the honey, and then the mead is what it is, obviously.
I'm writing down bees, knees, mead for later.
Yeah. Reach into that market.
Yeah, and so I do that. Can I do like an investigation or something to be able to keep an eye on Damon as well? Because now that I know he's being sneaky, I just don't want him to get lost. Is my only thing.
You're aware of the fact he's following you,
Okay.
but like you can't immediately. You have to like look for just a couple seconds to make sure you're picking him out of the crowd correctly, and that he is following you. He is following you. Just in a more stealthy manner.
I said, like I said,
Yeah.
adjacent to you.
Adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I carry on my way.
Yeah. And you keep going. There are a couple more people that are like, you know, free sample, and you see one of them like squeeze a little like squeeze bulb, and a little like a little spritz of fragrance spritz out in front of your face. For just a couple of seconds, the natural musk of the world is covered in this awful stench of lavender and piss, and it's like, it's really bad. It's not. She hasn't.
As I
made
get
it.
up to that section, I'm gonna look at the shop patron who I watched do that to Zog and say,
Yeah.
"You spritz me with that, I'll stab you."
And you see she's about to go like, free simp. She just keeps your bottle to herself. And matted hair, crazy eyes,
Yeah.
not a looker, but she has what looks like two almost mangy cats in this stand, and like loads of just random bottles with squeeze bulbs and like spritz tops, and just it's kind of a raggedy shack of a bazaar stand.
Dog.
And eventually-
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually you end up at the Island Breeze. It's smaller than most taverns. It's more of a hole in the wall than anything else. You see the logo of a boat docked on an island with waves, and you see a hand reaching out from behind one of those like lounge chairs, like a beach lounger, but the beach lounger is made of scrap metal.
Okay.
And a hand holding a glass that is also like glowy lines. And you walk inside, and there's already a brawl happening in one corner. Like it's a couple of people are gathered around. You hear some people going like, "I got 20 on the total," and you hear another one that's like, "I got 16 on the man with the mask," and it's just like,
This sounds like a WWE event.
you can look if you want, but if that's not your purpose, you don't have.
No, I'm going straight for the bar. I'm going. The big things are, if I
You
recognize the
immediately-
bartender.
You immediately take notice of the owner and bartender that you are well acquainted with. You've taken him a few times. This is Kotick, K-H-O-T-T-I-K, Kotick. He is a good, like, he's got, how tall did you say you were again?
5'11".
5'11". He's got a good like 3-4 inches on you, and he is covered in like this auburn brown hair, minus like a pattern for his face and some like scalping bits on his forearms and some singed marks on the ends of his fingers. And he is a bugbear. He's got fangs protruding from his bottom lip, kind of almost like perfectly like touching the tips of his nostrils. And he looks over to you and he's like, "Well, son of a bitch, if it isn't my old friend, if it isn't my old friend Zog, how you doing, buddy?"
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can I get me and my buddy, who I'd assume is walking in at this point?
I'm
Like, can I
actually
get-
over, I'm over on the other side.
You're over. You were behind me. How are you already on the other side?
No, no,
The other
no,
side of the
so
bar.
You're pointing over this one shoulder, and I'm
Oh.
saying from the other shoulder that I'm over here.
Yeah.
Can I get me and my buddy some of your best?
Absolutely. Let me just get a tap on. And he like pulls the stem poof, out of one barrel and poof, plugs it into another, corks off the other one, and just and gives you both frothing glasses of what looks like a very dark golden yellowy brew. Typical ale standards.
Yeah, and then as like he's pouring it, I'm just like, so I got some work that I'm not really sure I want to get done.
You know me. I'm never wanting to get. Oh wait. You don't know me.
Okay, can you repeat what you were saying for the DM?
I said,
purpose?
you know me. I never. Oh wait, you don't know me.
Yeah, Zog, can you repeat what you were saying for DM purposes?
Oh, I at the bartender I say, so I got some work that I kind of don't want to get done, and I kind of just want to like see if someone wants to buy the contract off me.
And he kind of like turns around and he's like, "What kind of work?"
Just kind of scraps, like bits and bobs, machinery, that kind of thing.
So you're looking for like a fucking handyman or something?
No, I got asked to transport this shit, and I'm kind of not feeling it.
Oh, I gotcha. Well,
You know anyone that would want to buy that contract?
Yeah. And he kind of scratches his head, and you see some like stray hairs and flakes drop to the floor. He's like, I'm trying to wrap my head around what kind of contract you're picking up here. Is it materials or is it escort?
Materials.
Okay.
So-
Right. Well,
Just for added flavor, I just rolled the deception. It was a natural 16, so that would be
Mhm.
19.
19.
And I say, I appreciate the ale, but I'd rather have my gold. And he just kind of elbows Zog, kind of go with it.
I get that. I got a couple more errands to run. If you need half now,
Now hold on, Zog. Hold on. What are you trying to imply there, stranger? I don't even know your name.
No, not you. He owes me money. He's supposed to peddle off this contract and pay me.
Oh. Miscommunication on DM's part. Okay.
No, that's fine. It actually kind of goes with the story. It's
Yeah.
just kind of fun.
And he's like,
I can
And
roll
he's
another
like-
deception if you want.
it's not deceptive. It's just like you caught him off guard because he thought you were talking to him. And it's like,
yeah. So and then
me and my friend here were having a conversation, and I don't know if you're the one to butt in.
he is helping me get rid of this contract. It was his contract. He gave it to me. I'm trying to pawn it off. We're all trying to make a little extra money.
Okay. Well, make a persuasion check.
Okay.
And
Not
because of the deception, I would say you have advantage.
Ooh. Well, thank you. Oh shit! Fuck me.
Whoa.
I gotta play a rogue.
Aw.
I gotta be a sneaky liar.
I gotta roll my dice in the water. Fuck it. It's right there. That's a nat 20.
Oh my gosh. Well, he kind of looks at you. He kind of looks between the two of you. Well, you didn't hear it from me. But apparently there's a new guy. You know the types, trying to set up a business, making his little money off of all of the shit that's lying around on the ground around here in an attempt to make an honest living. You know, one of those mamby-pamby types. And I
There
think
Such
he's
thing as an honest living anymore?
Not in a place like this, buddy.
my thoughts exactly. You know, he
Oh, hydrate.
Oh, okay.
I just spilled my water. I hydrated my desk. All y'all off camera better be doing it too.
Yeah, he's kind of a very nice.
I was teasing, but I'm so glad.
He's yeah, he's if I remember correctly, he's getting into this business too. Of the scrap thing. If you
Yeah.
really need to get rid of this contract, he can take it off your hands, I think. And what was his fucking name? Hey, Don. And he like looks over, and you see like face down on the bar, like you see just like a half orc type. And he like just raises up like, yeah, wait, right. And he's like, you know that fucking baby face who's setting up a scrapyard at the other end of town? And Don kind of looks to him like, I think I do. Wasn't it just some guy? And Kotick snaps his fingers. Guy, yeah, that's his name, Guy.
Guy?
Setting up a little business, other side of town. Roll a history check.
I Bradley know exactly who Guy is.
Yeah.
Is it most of my history? Wasn't I going to his wedding? 13.
13, yeah. Easy enough. That's the guy that you got invited to a wedding about a couple weeks ago. But it also rings a bell for another reason, but you're not sure why.
Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, where can I find this guy, or just his name's Guy?
His literal name is Guy. Talk about a pretentious jackass. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think you need to go to like the southernmost tip of town. He's kind of got. I think he just recently finished constructing this fucking place. You know, kind of like. Who am I thinking of?
Tesla?
We had another one just come in. Yeah, Tesla.
Oh, Tesla's the best. Kind of similar to her shit.
Say again.
So he's setting up stuff kind of similar to her.
Yeah, it's but you know people setting up businesses like that are a dime a dozen. I've got no ill will on Tesla though. Tesla's a good character.
I go to shake his hand and I say, I got the information I need, buddy. Now let's just enjoy a drink and make it look like I wasn't here to buy some info off you.
You got it, bud. Hey, can you go grab a bottle of good stuff? And he like turns around and you see a little kobold like standing on top of the bar. Green scales, like golden eyes, and he just looks over and he's like, oh yeah. Bottle of good stuff. I'll be right back. And hops down, and he just scampers across the floor of the bar. No one pays any mind to him. Comes back, like hauling a bottle like almost as big as, like almost like half his height, and he's just kind of like carrying it over, and he just like, yeah, and he tosses it up, and it goes in a perfect parabolic arc, like lands on the table. He's like, thank you, my friend. And fills up a glass. Yeah.
Thanks,
That'll be
buddy.
10 gold.
I'll get you once when I get this contract sold, alright? I'll split it with you.
I'll put it on your tab.
Sounds good. And I turn to
And
Damon.
he hands you the bottle. And he takes the glass and he like drinks it himself.
Yeah. Is the fight still going on?
The fight is over, the total one.
Oh,
And
damn
you
it.
see some and you see some folks are like, yeah, and you see the turtle just kind of like picking, like dusting off his like clawed, like stumpy like hands, and he just kind of like, sheriff, the young whippersnapper, like, and you see the guy in the mask lying on the floor in like a puddle of his own blood, and you see a little like release of energy, and you see some of his wounds immediately just kind of like heal. And the guy's like, how can a turtle be so fast? And and we're gonna leave that interaction there. I would say you would just enjoy more the bar, and if you wanted to do anything else, you would let me know, and we'll come back to you after we roll through the order. So Quinlan and Tesla. No, wait.
Yes.
Yes, Quinlan and Tesla got 23. Sundial and Willow. No, Sundial and Willow beat you by 1. Sorry.
Did they?
Yes.
Yes.
They beat you by
They
1, not the
did.
other way around. Sorry about that.
I
Yeah,
Oh.
they did beat us.
Yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
Sundial and Willow. What do y'all want to partake in at this rate? Are you kind of just
Magic!
all right? So you are just kind of wandering the boardwalk looking for magic, yes?
Magic!
All right. All right. Then I'll ask that both.
Animals.
Then I'll ask that both of y'all make perception checks.
Okay, let's see.
This is just to decide how long it takes you to find these things, because this is a pretty extensive boardwalk. You would find them eventually.
I got a 12.
12. Perception.
Yes, and that one. Yeah.
16. So, Sundial was looking more for animals or arcane? Okay. Well, if you're looking around, the first thing you would find would be an arcane stand. Specifically, these seem to be arcane.
I just realized that
arcane animals.
On stream.
What's the other guy?
Good. I was muted on stream, so they didn't hear the first little bit. I'm looking for arcane stuff, and I got a 16 on my thing.
Alrighty. Very nice.
No.
So, yeah, the first thing that you would come across would be little arcane. More specifically, it looks like arcane rings and necklaces.
Okay.
And the guy has like a ring on every finger, and some he's doubled up, and he is just like sitting in his stand, kind of like rocking back and forth, waiting for someone to come up. And you come up, and he's like, "Well, aren't you a splendid sight? What can I do for you, my constructed friend? And oh, are you of a Fey background, my friend? Why else would you have a fairy with you?" And he's just like talking at you, of like, you know, he's interested that you have a fairy with you, and B, what you look like. You know, you are new to him, as much as he is new to you.
What does this guy look like again?
He looks to be like a 6-foot-ish, kind of like, looks to be a half elf, erring more to the side of human than elf.
Okay.
You can see that he has like enough of a point to his ears that it would be unmistakably a half elf, but most of what is about him would be leaning more towards like the human side. He has these like shallow blue like eyes, almost like a baby blue, kind of a middling complexion, like he tans, almost like a farmer's tan, and he is just kind of like wearing this flamboyant kind of robe, like shoulder to toe robe, very basic design. It seems like he has a couple of patches on it in places that are shaped like different items, and like I said before, ring on every finger, and very perfectly done nails.
Okay.
And he was like, "How can I help you out, my friend?"
You are very
And are
clean.
Why, thank you. I like to keep myself of a natural complexion. But answer me this: are you of a fey kind? Why else would you have a fairy with you?
I'm getting to know a new friend.
Oh,
Yeah. What if
well,
I wanted
it
to
is a-
just go on an adventure?
Well, it is a pleasure to meet an independent such as yourself. And what might your name be? And he's kind of directing that at both of you, like looking back and forth between the both of you.
I am Sun.
I'm
Pleasure
Willow.
to meet you, son. And he extends his hand kind of down for, kind of like out for a handshake.
Okay. Sun will take his hand and shake it. I'm debating on something, on whether or not my gravitational pull might accidentally seem like it's taking a ring on accident, or if it will.
As you pull your hand back, you see one of the rings like starting to slide off his finger, but then it stops as you pull away. And it's like gravitational.
What is gravity?
Kind of like your personality.
Oh.
Now, take a look
see for yourself what kind of wares I have to offer. And if you see something you like, don't be afraid to let me know. And he gives you a wink.
Anything you like?
So these are mostly rings.
Okay.
So mostly rings and necklaces, you know, the typical magical item list of like uncommon magical trinkets. Like, you know, there might be like a periapt of health or a ring of protection, you know, typical ring stuff. Is there anything that you would specifically kind of half and half on and over table? Is there anything specifically you might want to look for here, or are you just perusing to peruse?
Well, Son did say that we should be trying to get to know one another. So he's going to be like, so, what are you interested in?
So I direct the question from Dono to
Willow.
Is there anything specifically that you might be looking for in this case, or?
No, she's more just curious on what's out there.
You see a really pretty looking ruby ring with a gold band. Got a filigree kind of along the sides of the band.
Okay. What does that do?
One of my personal favorites. Well, to put it bluntly, if you're wearing this ring, you become a bit more.
And you see a little expense of flame from his mouth, like a magical effect, expanse of flame.
Fireproof.
It is a ring of fire protection.
Okay. And how much are you?
I should have preempted this. Is it in the?
No, it's not going to be there.
I have no idea.
It's not in the screen. I would have to check DMG. Hold for one moment while the dungeon master gets his guide.
Is a ring of fire protection common, uncommon, or what?
This one would be of a more. This one would be of a more rare alignment.
Okay, then if you're looking at cash or gold wise.
Let me see. I got it. I got it.
I don't know how your thing goes, but I usually have a simple rule for mine.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I know that there's like typical prices here somewhere. Oh.
And yes, it's true. I'm not taking crap from anyone.
Okay.
Well, this piece, in its current state, I'll leave it in your willing and capable hands for 500 gold.
I'm gonna have to pass on that. But thanks.
That did seem,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that did seem a little high.
Yeah.
that is perfectly acceptable.
And he kind of like
But it
takes
is
it back into
gorgeous.
his hand, puts it back on his display.
I do appreciate that, my dear.
Above table, what kind of druid are you, Willow?
Hold on. Circle of spores.
Circle of
There you go.
spores? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's like animalistic or like that we can like that I can see within the area?
I can immediately see on my list here. Make a perception check for me, Willow.
Okay.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do the dice again. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
These dice are hating me.
Oh no.
Welcome back,
Uh-oh.
Briar.
Now I'm just rolling dice on here to see if it actually does hate me.
It's not a terribly hard DC. Just what did you end up with?
9. I rolled a 4 plus a 5.
5 isn't even like
be fine.
you have a better
You
perception
look
than I
over.
do.
You look over, and back in the corner, like as you're kind of just perusing the stand, you see, as a natural like druid, you're typically like more averse to natural metals. So one ring that catches your eye is a ring where the band is made of wood.
Ooh.
And inset into it seems to be like a almost a perfectly smooth tiger's eye.
Mm.
What about this piece?
And he turns and looks. And he picks it up, brings it to you, and he's like, hands it over to you. He just kind of shrinks down.
Yeah.
That one in particular, I had to actually scavenge the wood of an ironwood tree to make the ring for that one. I believe in the way that I enchanted it. It allows you to have a bit better control over the flora and fauna in your surroundings.
Over table, ring of animal influence.
Mm.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So fauna.
Yeah.
Because fauna is animals.
Yeah, fauna's the
Flora
animals,
is
flora's the
the-
trees. Yeah, I gotcha.
That piece, I've been having a really hard time getting it off my hands, considering everything else here is a precious metal, but the materials it's made of still warrant a fair enough price tag.
Let's say 125 gold. Oh my goodness.
We've been
thank
raided.
you for the raid.
Woo!
Tannis
My-
Jr.
Thank you.
with raiding with a party of 6. Thank you so
And
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for the raid.
Lady Toxic Beastia Tamer, for the follow. I can't read the entire name.
Lady Toxic Beastie Tamer, you got it.
Oh, okay, that was the full name. Cool.
Couple of first-time chatters. Thank you very
Hey,
much.
thank
We're
you.
exploring.
Welcome.
We're exploring the arcane at the moment.
Yes, we are. The sorcerer and the druid all together, and we are shopping.
For magic.
Magic.
So is 125 gold still a little too rich for your blood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I see the concern?
Over
Yeah.
table, I have 18 gold. That's all I
Okay.
have.
I will
The
I
look
ring of
at
influence
the.
is still technically
I
a
will look
rare
at the
item.
shopkeeper
So...
Mhm.
Yeah.
and just be like, Could you lower your price a little? Could you take
persuasion check.
100?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Oh,
What does a 24 sound there, Dippy?
4.
Ooh.
Sounds pretty good. Kind of looks into your like core where your eyes would be, and he just like smirks a little. He's like,
Just because you two are such a delightfully curious couple, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give it to you for 85. If you let me take one of your little mineral deposits.
and he's like, and he's looking at the little like more precious bits that are kind of orbiting around your core.
Hmm. That's not anything that's gonna like mess with me, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
If he's just
Yeah, I'm
grabbing
fine
a
with
little, boink, if he's just grabbing a little thing out of
Mhm.
your orbit, it's just one less thing in your sphere of influence.
Yeah, that's fine by me. And then Sundial's just gonna be like, all right, deal. And he's gonna take what is basically deposits of gold that he's picked up
Yeah.
throughout the time. Oh no! Our
Uh-oh.
overlay!
The overlay.
It's
broken.
Uh,
It's gear again.
Oh no. But he's gonna take the deposits of gold and give what is the equivalent of
Okay.
80, you said 85?
Kind of like, yeah, 85 gold. You kind
Okay.
of like rip a pretty decent sized chunk like out of your sphere of influence, and you like hand it over to him, and he's just like, I
and
love
then,
that.
And then I will hand that to Willow.
And you hand it to Willow. and it like same value, just
Mhm.
size difference.
Well, thank you.
And you kind of hand that over to him, and it like grows again when it leaves your sphere of influence, Willow, and it's just like. That is absolutely lovely. Now, do you mind? And he kind of reaches in like past your ring towards your core.
Mhm.
And then he's just like looking around at the bits that are zipping around your little sphere. And he's just like grabs on to what looks like a really shiny black stone,
Mhm.
over table obsidian. And he's just like, I have been looking forever for one of these, and you just have one on you. That is just fascinating.
I pick
need
things
to
up
keep-
as I go. What is your name?
And he can. Oh, I have been just so terribly rude. My apologies. And he will.
Oh, wait, I gave him my name already.
My name is Leovar, and it is a pleasure to have done business with you, sir.
I will keep you in mind for future business.
Absolutely.
Do you
And he's just like,
know-
and he just looks at the obsidian, and he just looks at you again, and he's like, yeah. And he reaches in, ding, flips a coin to you.
I just catch it in my gravity.
Yeah, in the gravity, you kind of like bring it down to like in front of your eyes so you can see what it is. He tossed you a platinum piece.
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. Cool. All right.
You tell me if you find any more of these specifically.
And he waves the obsidian stone like in front of you.
All right. I will. And
I think it's in your Zoom profile settings.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try and find something because I don't know if Sun would know if Tesla could make something like this, but he's wanting to get. I had an idea for my character. Like he wants to have something that like he can detach from his body, but be able to like move around freely, kind of like a familiar, but be able to like reattach later.
That's very similar to one of the infusions Tesla literally just used in the
Yes, I
last
know.
episode, like a homunculus.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind.
That would be more. Tell you what. The next thing that you find will move in that direction, but we're going to go ahead and move
Okay.
to Tesla and Quinlan
Okay.
for a little bit of play over there before we continue this little storyline that we're doing.
Exactly. Yes, Gear
Alright.
just literally. Yeah, exactly.
Thing from Adam's family.
Alright,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Just a little detached hand. Perfect. Okay. Tesla and Quinlan, you are now free to move about the cabin.
Cabin.
Cabin? This is a boardwalk.
Cabin.
All right.
There's a hole. Alright,
So
so
Quinlan, you're just accompanying Tesla in a search, a general search, yes?
Yep.
Well, you can either make an active investigation of just walking the streets, seeing if you can find any hints or
oh
clues.
no, we're going straight to the tavern. Going
Oh,
straight
to the tavern. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. So
Going
you are
straight to the
going
end.
to a place that you have been before, as
Yes.
you have been getting yourself acquainted with Moran, the automatic crab, and it is a
Okay.
little, and the emblem is a little like crab, like it's in very much in the shape of a crab, and it's two claws, but everything has kind of like a riveted metal aesthetic to it, and the name kind of sits underneath the body of the crab.
Okay.
As you walk inside, it's one of the larger establishments. You see it kind of has the decor of like a mountain lodge, but mounted on the wall is a kind of like a metal steampunk recreation of a deer bust, like a mountable deer. And just that kind of decor all around. Like it is a hunter's lodge for the technomancer. It's like cogs and gears and clockwork and like on the inside, and a lot of it is moving. and it is a very lively looking place. You see some bards off at some of the stamp posts with little cups and hats on the ground, playing to the delight of some of the guests and to the mistreatment of others.
Side note, would my character have supplied any of the components to any of this decoration since her establishment owned it? Okay.
Oh yeah. You ever since you made a little business offer with the owner, who you see walking out of his personal office now, a Loxodonian fellow, trunk coming from his face almost down to about his waist and then curling back up again. You see his trunk is marked with kind of some just skin surface level tally marks, and you see a couple of embellishments, some metal embellishments, piercings if you will, all along his trunk and a couple on the ends of his big ears. And he kind of just a gentle giant in many senses of the word, Okaz, O-K-O-Z, walks out of his office and sees you and is immediately like,
well, if it isn't my good friend Tesla, it is a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Hello. How are you?
Wonderful to see you again. And he offers his trunk for a little hand peck.
Yep.
And just does, and comes back, brings his trunk up to the bowler cap on his head and tips it.
And a pleasure to make your acquaintance as well, my friend.
In your direction, Quinlan.
I am here, unfortunately not on pleasure. I am looking for some information.
Well, I would love to help you out as much as I can. What can I tell you about today?
I appreciate that. Is there a place that we can go to talk?
Of course.
And he gestures over to one of the private lounges. There are a few in here, kind of separated off rooms for birthdays and sporting events. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And this one just kind of has a long table with booths and chairs, a plum sitting on the table. And over in the corner, a little water feature that just kind of goes into a hole in the floor and then just cycles back up and through, in the shape of a spitting fish. And you see pictures just either tacked to the walls or hung in frames of just plenty of other patrons who have visited the automatic crab and had a good time, pictographs, illustrations, and more prominently featured is a picture of you and Okaz just sitting kind of cheering, glass cheering against a new, just an exchange of material. And sits down, and he has a really big, comfy, armchair kind of in this room for the purposes of, if he wants to sit and have a good time, then he has a good, comfy place to sit. Right. And he just kind of spreads his weight across the chair, and he's like,
so, what can I tell you about today?
Well, there is a little bit we have to catch up. I do appreciate your business. I see you've done some wonderful things with the materials that I've sent you, and I've actually come up with something of my own recently. And she'll put her hand out, and then fluttering down with hummingbird wings the size of a sky bat, a sky puppy. but it's it's a little weird, kind of it's in between. It's not sure what it is right now.
Oh yeah. And it just kind of
but it's adorable nonetheless.
Of course. And he looks and he
puppy.
Just
marvelous.
Yes,
oh, it is simply
brand new,
adorable.
We still have a few adjustments, as you can see, and I'm to it, and it shapes into something more familiar of a squirrel.
And it just the tail kind of forms more fully, and it's just
oh,
yes.
That is an absolutely beautiful work of craftsmanship. You
Thank
are
you.
quite the artiste.
Thank you.
And may I return the pleasure of your material has been indispensable to the production value of my
Well,
business.
thank you so much. I'm so glad it's come to use. It really warms my heart that it's been used in such a beautiful and playful manner.
Of course. We did hire a decorator and they used your material to its fullest.
It
Now,
looks like they're very talented.
I know
but,
you did not come in here simply for pleasantries.
Absolutely not. But speaking of my business, it may it pains me that I may not be able to be in business much longer. At least if that's the direction, the way things are going as
Well-
of recently.
Well, why ever not?
Well, I've had several clients cancel on me, and of course, as per my cancel policy, they're able to request a refund on their shipments, as some of them have canceled far quicker, just before any of my deadlines. So I need to know where this other business is and congratulate them on stealing from underneath my toes.
Oh my. I am terribly sorry to hear this, my dear. Let me think for a moment. And he kind of like lays his head back and closes his eyes, and you see him kind of muttering under his breath, like. And it's at this point that you notice on his like 3-fingered hands or his 4-fingered hands, he has on one of them he has a string tied around what would be his index finger, and on the other one he has a string tied around what would be his thumb and what would be his ring finger. And they are big strings. They're almost like little chains at this point with how big they would have to be to fit. And he kind of like taps along his fingers, feels the string, and he's like, oh dear, I'm afraid I do know. And he kind of unravels that one and falls to the floor. I really should have contacted you before any further issues arose. We did receive some correspondence from a potential upstart, a potential kickstarted business in the region. He has built a little farther south than you have, and I know that when you came here, you scouted in this area and found it less than pleasing, and, well, it seems that he has not made quite the preparations that you have. Hasty, if you could put a better word to it.
Seems like such a evidence has I'm not sure. I'm at a loss for words. It's quite surprising that anybody would set up shop so quickly.
Well, to my memory, he is just started his business operations about a week ago. His construction finished merely 2 weeks ago. And his correspondence was sent towards the end of his construction, informing us of his... He called it a business plan in his letter, but it sounded more like a scheme to my own mind. If I remember, and he kind of like stands up, towering over you again, and he walks over to a door that connects his office to this lounge, and he kind of like, here it is. And he, in the end of his, I'll accidentally mute it. He presents it on the end of his trunk to you, an already opened piece of parchment paper that is kind of on the verge of like being crumpled from being like misplaced in a desk. It has a permanent like crease in it because it's been folded with another piece of paper. You kind of straighten it out and you look at it and it reads. And Quinlan, you kind of looking over the shoulder can read this too.
Oh yeah, I'm just holding this out since it's a letter to whoever it's going to be. Might as well have,
Dear potential business partner, I'm pleased to announce the opening of my new scrapyard that is going to be in the south of this fine town.
And I noticed that you have a lot of interior decorating to be done with your business. Granted that some has already been procured by another third party. I would be willing and able to enact a business plan, and this is just going to have to be clipped because this letter is long.
Right.
I'm willing and able to enact a business plan with you to get you more materials for further decorating at half the cost of any competitors. Please take my offer into consideration and know that any business that you tend to do with me should be done under the guise of, not under the guise, that would be the sleazy term, under the name of the business I will be opening. So please consider further interaction in a few weeks' time when my business operations start. Signed. And there's a pause for dramatic effect.
I really should have done this first.
Humbly yours, Brass Lavender Scrapyards. Co-signed, and upon reading the name, your vision and intent and all of the numbers immediately just like puzzle piece together upon reading the name Guy, Guy, and I believe you had a note of his last name, or
No, I don't think we established a last name.
I don't think we established a last name. Let me give him one then, just a really pretentious sounding one.
I think because we got as far as
Perfect.
yeah.
Guy Studley, Studley, Studley.
Nice. And it was Brass Lavender Scrapyards?
Brass Lavender Scrapyards.
Okay. Just making sure my notes are okay.
Yeah.
I'll write that down too.
The paper further crinkles between my fingers.
Yeah.
I take it you know of the guy.
It's pronounced Gee, but at this point, any pronunciation will work. It's someone who my good friend picked up some time ago.
Studley Richards. No. It's
Uh,
pronounced jackass. Oh, I love you guys.
He, I guess you could say, and she'll say this out loud, so oh shit, I can't pronounce the name I wrote down. Oakzard?
Okaz. O-K-O-Z.
Well, I'm spelling it differently so I can pronounce it.
Did you spell it with an X? Yeah.
No, I put O-K-O-Z like you said, but
All right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
whatever you need to do.
O-A-K
Yeah.
as an oak.
Oak.
So Okaz can hear as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just a passenger like yourself and the others. We got to talking, and he heard about my business, and he was very fascinated, so intrigued by what I was doing there and how I was going to build my business and everything that he anything and everything he wanted to know. He asked those questions, annoyingly so to the end there. I was kind of glad when we got to his stop. However, he forgo getting off that stop and continued to follow me to Moran. And I had already set up the groundwork. All I needed was my grandparents' label, title.
The title. Yeah, the title to the business.
Paperwork anyways, so now he seemed to have used all of the information that I had and set up his own business, thinking he knows the business.
So, he betrayed you.
I wouldn't say betray. It's not exactly like we were friends, but it's still on the lines of thievery, for sure.
Make a perception check as you like kind of continue to hold the letter. Oh boy.
Perception is active perception is what?
Add your perception bonus to
That's what I
whatever
mean.
you
I have my passive perception. What is my active perception?
roll. Your passive is typically 10 plus your perception bonus, so I guess your.
Oh, okay.
So it's plus 3.
Yeah, so 18
18.
is the final number.
You look back to the letter to see if you missed anything, and right down all the way at the bottom is a very thin piece of fine print that says, P.S. It would be very nice if you could spread the word about the upcoming. It would be very nice if you could spread word about an upcoming wedding.
What?
Is there something
And-
more?
And what?
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. Well, nothing. That's
You just-
personal.
You just kind
So,
of fold it up and hand it.
oh yeah, no, fold it up and yeah.
Because
Um,
grabs and deposits into a pocket. And he's like, I am so terribly sorry that this had not been revealed to me by any other party before this moment. I will, as an act of good faith, not associate myself with his business.
Well, I would
For
assume that.
for your benefit, Tesla.
Well, I assumed that our business had been well enough that you would be loyal enough to not, in the first place. But
He kind of
competition is
ha- he-
competition. Business is business. I understand.
He kind of hangs his head a little bit at the thought, and he's like,
My sincerest apologies.
Well, anyhow, we'll talk more later, Oscar. I need to find this lavender bent metal as soon as I can, and welcome the competition to the surrounding area.
If I could give you directions, I would, but unfortunately, the postmark did not have any clues as to where it was.
Yes, I
Spam, if you call it.
could be. Might as well be.
Could I get you something to ease your nerves? A drink, perhaps?
Yes. Do you want something to drink?
I could go for a drink.
Yes.
Are
two,
we
please.
feeling something on the harder side or simple beverages today?
I have work to do. Let's do moderate.
Okay.
and he
Unless-
like stands. Oh, sorry.
Unless you would like anything hotter, that's up to you. But I
Quinlan?
need to keep my wits about me.
As tempting as harder is, I will join you on the moderate side of things.
All right, then. Then allow me to grab some herbal spice teas.
And he like stands up and walks into his office, grabs a tea set. Very nice looking, like almost like porcelain tea set. You don't find too much non-metal like applique around on tables and bar sets. But he has apparently imported this.
I suspect he's probably pulling out the nice stuff for apology. An
Oh, yeah.
apology drink.
Oh yeah, he. It seems that he had already made. Wow! Right into the mic.
Sorry,
You're good.
totally forgot which way was which.
I love that. That's just
I
great.
was looking at myself, and it's mirrored, so yeah.
Anyway. It seems he already had a pot made. He pours some out, and it's a very nice looking, kind of orangey green swirl of tea fills itself into the cup before you, and he offers the same to you, Quinlan.
Accepted.
You both grab and take a sip,
Mm-hmm.
and a wonderful blend of like tangerine and mint hits your senses. It's almost like, and it's more pleasant than like the sensation you would get of toothpaste and orange juice. It's like the polar opposite, like pleasant sensation of that. It's
Okay.
sweet and like mellow, and it has that nice citrusy bite like right at the end of the sip, and it's a good mix.
Okay.
And you feel calm. For the next 20 minutes, you have advantage on charisma saves.
Ooh, neat.
Your head seems to be more level in this moment of previous feelings leaving your body as it's flushed out by the liquids of the tea. And he says, "Now, as I previously said, I cannot offer much in the way of advice. But if I was a thinking elephant, I would look a little bit farther south. Because I do remember hearing rumors of that being the direction of this new development in Moran being in that direction. So, best of luck to you, and know that your business is at least safely guarded between us. You will not lose a customer on this day to me."
I do appreciate that very much.
And he gives a deep bow and then comes back up. "Stick around as long as you like, and if you have any other questions or inquiries, please give me a knock." And he gets up again and walks back into his office. Probably to think after this conversation.
Could reconsider his life choices.
Yeah, to think about the postulations of loyalty. And on that note, this would be a point to either move on. Is there anything else that you were thinking about doing in this search, or would your course of action to be moving south?
Yeah, I think after finishing the drink and whatnot, assuming there's like crumpets or biscuits or whatever with it, probably head straight in that area to get the feel of the location and how it's been set up, size up the competition basically.
Right. So that'll be a good thing for the next kind of like movement in your activities, which we are going to circle back around.
Whoa!
Ooh. Careful
Going to
now.
circle back around to Zog and Damon very fast.
Very fast.
Mhm.
Fast bender fast.
How do you think the turtle beat him?
What?
This is like 30 minutes later after a few drinks.
Oh, I've seen some crazy things in my time.
I'd assume this whole time me and Damon have just been kind of like passing the bottle back and forth between the two of us.
Oh yeah.
But I've seen some crazy things in my time. But I'm thinking, drunken monk. Oh, best.
I'm not
So
much of a
guy.
fighter. I kind of want to go try my luck with the turtle. And I pass it back.
Oh my goodness. Well, and in this moment, you both kind of look up, and Kotick is kind of circling around in the space, kind of taking care of all of his patrons, but he comes back to you after a little bit, and he goes like, "So, since you were so curious, I might as well be curious of my own. What have you been up to these days, Zog? Or Ferryman, if that's what you prefer."
I've just, you know what? Nothing's really new. I have a son now. He's a big pile of rocks. He's my best friend. His name is Sun. I should have clarified that.
I like to think that's like the first slips of like, yeah. And his face at first it like lights up, and then it's like, oh. And
Kind of an oaf, don't you think? The sun, not you, sir. And I
And
take a
he,
sip and I
like-
pass it back.
undoubtedly.
Are you talking
So-
shit on me or Sundial? And I'm like looking Damon in the eyes.
Well, he soiled my pants.
You stole from my boat that I was very hospitable trying to make it as good as possible for you.
Oh, he told you about that, did he? Grab the bottle back.
I didn't.
Yeah. You kind of like it. Kotick kind of looks to the both of you, and he's like, "I think I started something I wasn't letting on. I'll leave you two alone." And he like goes back over to his patrons.
Zog looks at Damon and just kind of like does a big stretch and everything. He goes, I want to be on the right foot with you. I think me and you get along better than you think. Man to man, right now. And he sticks up his arm for an arm wrestle. I
Oh
win.
my god!
It's a fresh start. We do everything like we just met, and we're buddies now. No more stealing from my boat. No more making fun of my son. I'll stop calling you an emo teddy bear.
You see the kobold behind the bar kind of look over in that direction at that postulation.
And what if he wins?
I'm waiting for that.
And the kobold kind of looks at you, Damon, intently. He kind of bounces on his feet a little bit, excited for what's about to happen. Oh, man. This is a little bit of a tense moment that's been constructed here.
I'll even put my boat on the line.
Jesus Christ.
That's a joke, by the way.
I
He
said,
sees you thinking, he's like, I'm joking.
I don't like people. I tolerate you all in small doses. So, if I win, as long as I'm with you, I keep doing what I do and you put up with it.
I win, we're friends. You win, we tolerate each other.
And you buy me another bottle of this.
Deal.
All right.
The hands come together and you see, oh boy, and he like calls around and it's like,
Hey, everybody, come over and place money on this shit. This is gonna be cool.
and you see a crowd slowly gather around the two of you, and Kotick kind of looks over and he's like, oh, well, you two are gonna need a ref for this. And he like moves over and he places his hands on top of the clasp grip. And he's like, you've already agreed on your terms, yes?
Yep.
Well, then there's nothing more to do than
Let at it. And he lets go, and you two need to make competitive strength checks. So this is going to be interesting. So
Because I know his strength is probably way better than mine
Is
is.
both
would
of
this be
y'all are
strength
rolling
or athletics?
I will say that this is just straight strength score, so that there isn't like proficiency, like dabbling with it. It is just a straight strength score.
I'll take that.
Okay.
17.
All right. 17.
16.
Oh.
16. It is off to a. Dono, we need more intense music for this, please. Change it now.
Got it. I rolled a natural 16. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that.
Oh my goodness. On my way. Okay. So we're gonna have intense music here in a second. But as the hands are brought together and the ref kind of lets go, Zog, you feel your hand like it's a pretty even match, but you start to see your hand tilt ever so slightly. That's one success to Monk. Oh, this is good music. All right, I need another one.
That toad scooter of yours will soon be mine.
I was
Joking,
kidding.
of course. I'm joking back.
Yeah. All right. Number 2.
21.
17 again.
All right. So Zog, you feel your hand move, and then you all of a sudden get like a burst of energy when he makes mention of your boat, and you're just like, I'm not having that taken, and you realize the joke, but you've advanced some ground. So that's one success for Zog. I need another one.
18.
17.
Oh, you feel the ground you made up, and you like start to think about this a little more, and you're like, wait, don't these outcomes seem pretty much the same? And then you feel your hand like moving back, and you see it go a little farther than it did last time, and you feel like every tendon in your arm is tensing up like severely in this moment, and you realize this might not be like so one-sided of a
I'm gonna up the game a little bit. I'm gonna say, all right, if I get this, and I'm gritting my teeth as I'm talking, if I win, you rename it the Toadstool.
And
if I win, then you buy me 2 of these bottles. Then if you want to up this shit,
I need another roll. So that's 2 for Monk, 1 for Dadley.
I'm not as confident with this one. 16.
19.
Oh,
19. Oh,
roll.
it's going back and forth. You feel the raised stakes, and you see your arm just like a vein just like grows down your arm, and you like force Damon's hand back over to the other side of the conflict, and you stare deep into his eyes, and you have this look of, I got this. And Damon, you are intimidated. At least a little. I need another roll.
Monk, don't tell me what you rolled yet, because I'm burning an inspiration die of mine.
Oh boy. Will this
That's
discern?
better. 17.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Oh.
So we're not going to 3.
1.
So we're not going to 3, we're going to 5. That's another
Okay.
success for
Oh.
Damon. So dirty
Jesus.
20, you see Damon like push back against your hand with even more ferocity, and you feel your hand just like kind of like straining against the weight. Not just like he's got more like length to his arm, and you feel like this is an unfair advantage. I need another roll.
Are there can I hear bets being placed at this point?
Oh yeah, you hear chanting. You hear chanting. You hear like that both of your names were given to like various parts of the crowd. You hear Zog, 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 and Damon. You hear Damon, 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 Damon. Like just like and I need another roll.
Definitely don't say anything. I'm gonna burn one of my inspirations.
Okay.
Burning inspiration on arm wrestling.
That was a 4. I'm not
Oh,
letting
boy.
that stand.
I
Okay.
burned inspiration on a 2.
19.
21 again.
Oh!
21. It's another one. It's 3 and 3. Zog, you like bend your hand like back up and bring it back to the other side, and it is getting like more and more like heated between the two of you. You feel like this is becoming a battle of both wits and like brains and brawn, as you're kind of like utilizing just a technique more than just raw pushing power.
Yeah.
All right,
And
I'm gonna.
I need
and
another.
just continue the trash talking trend. I'm gonna say. So, what's your deal with Tesla? You got mommy issues? I'm gonna roll.
All right, another roll. You hear people behind you like, I got 20 on the skinny guy.
16.
16. 19.
Oh,
19. Oh,
Zog, you feel like you have a witty comeback.
I, as he says that, I'm just like, nah, just like girls with brains.
And you feel, and Damon, you feel the push of the hand, like bringing you right almost all the way down to the bar. You have that last ounce just stored up, and you just keep your hand right off the tabletop. It is 3-4. Let's see if this ends it.
Is that because you don't have any?
Inspiration on that.
Zog.
There we go.
19.
18.
18.
And another inspiration point down.
Yeah,
I got one more. I can still use it if I need to.
The moment of what? Because you don't have any shocks you so much your hand like shoots back to the other side, and you just barely stop yourself from going down onto the table. And you both level out in the middle, and you are just both like shaking like back and forth in the middle, and the crowd is just going, "Oh!" And you feel like this is coming to an end. It is one more roll to decide it all, gents.
I'd rather be dark. I'd rather be fun and goofy than dark and broody.
Roll one more time for me, fellas.
30-20.
Oh. And you, Zog, you feel the tension released from Damon's arm. Just poof, like slam Damon's hand down onto the table in a not so crushing victory, as you feel all of the strength kind of regained into your arm, and it just like falls onto the table after your victory. And it's just like you feel your fingers like kind of like curling over into that like grip, even though you've let go. And you hear the crowd like simultaneously go, "Oh!" and then "Yeah!" and like a cheer and just a round of applause for Zog as you hear the sounds of some coins being transferred between some parties, and then you see a couple being tossed behind the bar, you know, a couple little just baggies of coins.
As all the commotion's going on, Zog stands up and goes, "Winning bets pay my tab. Me and Damon are out of here."
And you hear like a cheer from the crowd. You hear a cheer from the crowd of the people that are just like, "Yeah, well done, woo!" And you just like, and you hear Kotick go, "That crazy son of a bitch." And as you both just kind of egress the bar to head back in the general direction of the meeting point. And you can explore the boardwalk a little bit while you're on the way. So I would say,
as we get out, I say, "Well, fuck, I didn't think that through." And I raise my head back out.
As we leave, I also want to try that mead really quick, because I'll be walking by him again, so I want to try that mead as I'm walking out.
Try the what?
The mead, the free sample mead. Yeah.
Okay. So in this moment, I would like to say that you and Willow and Sundial would basically come to find each other. Yeah. You would kind of come to find each other in this moment if you're leaving from the bar and you just have nothing else particularly to do. So I'll invite Willow and Sundial back for this. So as you're both leaving, you, Zog, kind of take the and you and it's enough that it's just basically like a shot of this. You feel this smooth sensation down your throat, and then the smoothness turns to like kind of what you think glowing would feel like. Like it's not hot, but it's like, you know, you feel like a tingling and then like a numbness, and then it like just kind of subsides back to feeling in your throat, almost like burning off all of your taste buds for brand new ones, but in your esophagus.
Okay.
It's like, it's an interesting feeling, and you feel like it's a lot stronger just because these are irradiated like bees, basically, that made the honey for this. It's an interesting taste.
It's like peeing your pants, but in a good way.
and not too sweet either. Typically, mead has a sweeter taste to it, but this one's it's all right. So as you walk out, you spot Sundial and Willow like continuing to search the general area, and as you meet eyes with each other, your other perception kicks in, and you hear the sounds of like little animal chittering coming from like towards the other end of this boardwalk where the pier begins to end and the largest stands have themselves set up. You see like a tent on poles where the canvas over the top like just covers from direct like top pour, but the sides are open to the sea breeze and are open to the riverway and like the water lapping against the docks, and you see what appear to be several animals just kind of mingling about the space. But none of them seem to be leaving the confines of underneath the canvas, and you find that interesting.
I look at Damon and I say, if I had to guess where Sundial's gonna be, it's at the fucking petting zoo.
And you see Sundial like immediately just like, what do you do?
Willow has a thing for animals, it seems.
Want to head over that way?
Yes, we can head that way.
All right.
So Willow and Sundial, both of you spot this same tent in the same like vicinity.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yes.
And you both you're both like kind of going over, and you spot Zog and Damon approaching the tent as well. And you both kind of come up to it like in your individual pairs, and then you just kind of like walk to one corner to meet back up again. And
how'd your guys' adventure go?
Pretty cool.
Still looking.
Okay.
Gotta look for animals.
Care to try some boneless wings? And you see like one of the vendors like popping out from a stall behind you, just like waving like what appears to be like a wing that definitely has a bone in it, but like sticking out of the bottom of it. But it's
I have no mouth.
Here's your expensive wine back, Zog. And I pull out
This
the
is-
crappy wine.
This shit is terrible. Were you drinking this?
He said it was good, and I point at.
I
He
didn't say
doesn't have a
anything about
mouth.
it being
Don't
good.
take wine recommendations from him.
Damon, I didn't say anything about it being good.
Told me to drink that first. That obviously means it's
Exactly.
good.
But all that
Zog-
stuff's disgusting anyways.
As Dog's like, this shit is terrible. He's taking a swig. Like,
yeah, stuff is terrible.
Okay.
Willow, do you want to try? I mean, it's not good. I will offer it out of kindness, but I will not be offended if you don't want to drink wine I just said it's bad.
Well, thank you, but I will have to not take up your offer.
Oh, look
I
at
I'm gonna go
Willow.
speak with animals now.
I'll take it out of his hands and take a drink out of it.
You both turn to like look at the signage, and you see kind of unfurled at one of the corners is like a canvas sign printed and painted to look very like dingy, but you know, almost like intentionally dingy. And you see, oh god, I really need to have these pages up before I do this shit.
Welcome to my
Starting to sound a
world.
little bit like Dono.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of being a DM.
Okay, you see
Exactly.
a sign that you see a sign painted on with the words Toxor's Traveling Zoo, and you see a painted on figurage of a lion's head on a person's body holding what looks like a butterfly net slung across his back in one hand, and in the other hand is like a almost like a ringmaster's whip, but coiled up in his hand. And behind that signage you see like several like vibrant displays of like various exotic non-radioactive animals, and all of you, it's a splendid sight that this person has gathered up some non-natural like fauna, because most of the animals in Quy'zz are different in some way. These, by comparison, look quote unquote like more normal, more typical.
Yeah.
And as you like look inside, you see a faint shimmer of just dotted like particles falling from the canvas to the floor, and you see just a trace of a blue line on the floor following the line of the canvas above you.
I look for the smallest fauna. Like,
Okay.
is there one that's like a runt of it all?
You're like walking into the
Yeah.
space, right? As you step through, you feel this energy like pass over you, like you're passing through like a thinly veiled waterfall, and it just like washes you in this sense of like,
Does
like,
this seem
gives you a
really
chill down.
touristy?
As you step inside, the temperature immediately drops from like 89 to 72. Like, it's a beautiful temperature. Like, just one footstep inside of this place. And upon stepping inside, you also notice that the natural surroundings of the harbor around you, and like the natural like gray and brown, like brownstone, like not just architecture but natural landforms change.
Posture check.
Almost like they're being projected to look different, like a for lack of a better way to put it, like a programmed illusion.
Okay.
And you look at the corner where you see a lion-headed, people-bodied figure kind of standing in a corner with a clipboard and a checklist and what seems to be a writing implement. And he hears the sound of his barrier being passed through, and he just basically like turns.
Well, isn't it wonderful to have some new customers? Please, come right in, come right in. Feel free to look around. If you have any questions, you just ask Toxor.
And he points his thumb to himself.
Toxor.
Toxor, Toxor.
Toxor. Someone
Are
write
there a
that down.
bunch of like tourists looking around?
There are some of the cleanest people that you've seen so far. On the inside of this tent, they're like cleanest being, not so much radioactive, not so much raggedy clothes, not so much Mad Max as like kind of what I'm wearing. Florals.
So I'm gonna look at everybody and tell them I'm gonna go have a look around.
I want to find like an interesting moss.
Interesting moss?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like
I'm
maybe like
looking
an
for-
animated type moss or something like
So
that.
you
Like
see-
something that's like it's plant and animal. I don't know.
Right. So you see, as you're looking around, I'm not so much going to describe what it is you see as what it is you find. So I'm going to leave it to y'all. You say you were looking for some kind of like animated mollusk type thing. Willow,
A small animal.
Zog,
Same, like a small, like the antelope things that we were talking about, like the runt of the pack of those.
gotcha. Damon.
I'm messaging you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's trying to pocket an animal.
So
God, I thought I
Beautiful.
took Putty Cat. I did.
Okay.
I did. I saw it.
yeah,
Dead.
sundial.
Yes.
As you're kind of looking around, you notice a lot of like natural like enclosures that have some animals in them, but some animals are just roaming about the space. And you notice that as they get closer to the barrier, they like turn away from it as if they're like not going to pass through it. And there are some deer, there are some nice, just typical animals.
Okay.
like a little grassy knoll just kind of sitting on the ground, like a pile of moss that would not be growing on a dock. So you kind of like amble over to it and you like squat down and you give it a little, and it just kind of like unfurls, and like there's no better way to put this. It unfurls like an armadillo, but the head ends up looking at you like kind of like that of a Persian cat.
Okay.
With like kind of the big puffs, what look like a couple of puffs of cotton for like ears, and a natural kind of like formation of a face. You see like a couple of spiritual glows where the eyes would be, and a natural seam where the mouth would be, and a little button rock for its nose. And you know, it looks like, instead of a really thick coat of fur, it's a pile of moss. And Toxor is kind of standing in that same area, and he's like,
That one loves people. It might become attached to you if you interact with it for too long.
Am I people?
If that's what you...
huh?
Am I people?
So
you're getting really existential on me here. I would assume
I
you
will
are.
interact with it more, and just begin to interact with it.
And
I
you
go
kind of
back
like
to potato Dono.
kind of bring
I'm a
kind of
potato.
bring your hand like down to like rub across it, and it is soft. Oh my gosh, it's soft. You know, it is just this plush little thing, and it like rubs itself like kind of up against what would be your leg, and it like shimmies and then hops and ends up like on your shoulder. And
Does
it
it hop through like the different stones and like items?
Yeah,
through
it
my...
just kind of like jump and
It
then jump and then
hardcores
jump,
its way
and
up.
then
Yeah, fucking love it.
it ends up like not on the ring that would be your timepiece, but kind of on a shoulder, like where its head could look directly at your core. And then you shift your eyes around your core to look at it, and it like tilts its head to the side, and your eyes kind of like tilt in the core to match it. And it just kind of looks at you, and a big smile creeps across its face, and it opens up its lips, and it has like razor sharp teeth, like a Cheshire cat smile. And it just goes like, and
I just look at Zog. Boat pet.
That's what I was looking for. Let me find mine, and we'll take a vote on which is better. Okay?
Willow.
Boat pet.
Maybe.
Yeah, boat pet. Yeah. A boat, you say?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
You remember that, Dono?
What?
Read
In the
grid of
Zoom chat,
chat,
you can read that real fast. Willow.
Yes.
Small animal. There are a lot
Yeah.
of them. Any particular shape of friend you're looking for?
Well, that would be easy to carry.
Okay. As you're kind of walking around, the thing that catches your eye is like a little nestled up, like kind of wings tucked in, tail kind of laying flat on the table, and head just kind of like put down to its body, like resting, gathering kind of its warmth, and it kind of like brings its head up when you come near it, and it tilts its head. Very dove-like head on a very pigeon-esque body. Kind of gray and like multicolor feathers among its plumage, and it kind of like stands up a little bit. But the head is like a pure white, and the eyes are like just little perfect black dots. It kind of looks at you and just, and it unfurls its wings, and its wings are like twice as long as a bird this size's wings should be, and its wings just kind of like drag along the ground as it walks along the table to you. And
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. How long does the spell last?
10 minutes.
No,
Okay. Does it affect all animals or a specific target?
It's awful.
Yeah, it affects them all.
So, yeah.
It affects them all. Okay.
Of course it does.
Immediately, you hear a lot of conversations going on all around you, mostly to the tune of,
There's a lot of nice people coming in today. I really hope that some of us get picked up and taken home.
and one of the bigger animals kind of looks over and it's like, ugh, another pack of commoners. None of them will suffice for me. And you hear that coming from like the general direction of like the big, like majestic deer with like an 18-point set of antlers and just like, very posh. The pit of that you kind of look at, that is a Pokemon. The Pidgeov, that's a little better. That kind of sits in front of you is like,
You have a very pretty face.
So do you.
and you, the rest of you hear like just a standard like array of coos, and then, but you hear like,
Well, you're just so wonderfully nice, too.
and it like flaps and it like jumps up into the air and it just like flaps. It's suspending itself with very few like flaps of its wings. The surface area is spread out far enough that like, the Pokemon Wingull? Imagine like little tiny body, little tiny, cute face, long ass wings that just like keep it suspended even if it's not necessarily flapping. Just the air passing underneath it is enough to keep it aloft.
Okay.
It's like,
Is it okay if I come home with you?
I would like that.
Well, then you might want to talk to my owner.
and he kind of looks over to Toxor. And he's like, seem to find something to fit your size. And
Yes.
That is a very good choice. Your aesthetics match beautifully.
Yes, it does.
5 gold. And tink.
There. You're mine.
Now, you may need to take a little bit of time to get accustomed. And the Pidgeov kind of looks over to you and is like, you don't. I like you.
Oh, thanks.
We're all getting familiars today.
The little you also, because of this, you hear the little moss cat sitting on Sundial's shoulder is like,
This guy is like really pretty, and I would really like to sit on him like all the time, cause he's just so big and warm. Can you like get me too?
and just, I'm sorry, I didn't expect that voice to come out.
How much?
That's
How
his
much
voice
for
from
that
here on
one?
out. That's his voice from here on out. Now. Like, you gotta do that voice now. Should be
So
fun.
I go over to the dude. How much for the one on that guy?
The moss cat?
Yes.
A little bit bigger, a little bit better trained. We'll let go of him for 20 gold.
I can do 15.
Make a persuasion check. Oh?
That is a 23.
Yeah!
Yes!
Woo!
For the animals.
And he takes your offer. And you look over and you give a knowing nod and he's like, hooray! And like you see him just kind of like twirl around and like curl and just loaf.
I want him to just become moss onto one of the rocks.
Yeah,
onto me.
here's the thing. As he kind of like curls it up and like lays, when he gets really tired, his like facial features kind of like fade away and his shape just kind of takes form and he just becomes a really like soft lump of moss that's just kind of like stuck to your arm.
Fabulous.
In the way that your attraction, like your gravitational attraction kind of works, do not put that evil on me, Quinlan. Don't you dare. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And before the 10 minutes is up, I'm going to go over to the one posh animal and say, with that attitude, it'll be forever. And then I go over to Sun and said,
He kind of looks over to
He's
you and
yours.
is just like, oh.
But Zog hasn't even.
And he like upturns his nose and you see a little, just a little tear. But,
I would have
you know.
topped you, but
I just look at Willow and like, but Zog hasn't even made his choice.
Zog.
guess you're gonna have two boat pets, and I'm out.
The runt of the litter, you're looking around and you're looking for something like unique and small. And the thing that you immediately turn to is the tiniest little crocodile you've ever seen.
Oh my god.
You're gonna
It's
put
like a
a
little
Loki helmet on
it's like a little caiman. You know, he's got the little eye lumps kind of coming up from his form, and he like blinks, and he's got a fairly moderately sized snout for how big he is, and you know, head to tail, just an arrangement of just sort of mossy green and like that dark like alligator green scalage and rumply bumply back, and he's just kind of laying
bumply. I love that.
just kind of like laying mellow on like one of the fence posts, and he kind of just looks over to you. You hear that low grumble that some crocs give when they're like happy, just that.
I Bradley love this crocodile.
Willow, you look over at the crocodile that Zog is kind of eyeing, and before your spell is up, you just hear him go, "Chill, dude," and he's just like looking.
I like slowly walk up to the crocodile with my hand out, being like, sometimes these things fucking fight. Is this one friendly? Like,
you see it kind of like squint, and then like move, like it kind of stands and turns, and then it like extends its head out to meet your hand, and then just like head down, head into hand. Like,
this is just Toothless and Hiccup.
pretty much.
I instantly just like have a connection. I look at the guy. I'm like,
Seems he's taken a liking to you.
How much for the croc?
The mini caiman, I'll call it 10 gold, and we'll be good to go.
I like the minis. They're all gonna grow up to be giant fucking things.
I need to check how much gold I have, because I actually
How much did he
don't
say?
know. 10.
10? I give him the platinum piece.
I'm holding a platinum piece, and I'm like, the fuck? Son, when did you get this?
I know a guy.
When do you meet people that I'm not gonna...
I will warn you.
I'm not spending a platinum on something that's 10 gold. Wait, is a platinum 10 or 100 gold?
Platinum is 10.
A platinum is 10.
Oh, I thought a platinum was 100.
No.
Oh,
This is why I'm here.
Yeah.
I look at the platinum and I look at the crocodile.
Toxor kind of looks to you and it's like,
Seems like your friend has you covered.
I mean, what do these things eat?
He's a typical carnivore. Anything that you would expect a meat eater to eat, he'll eat.
So,
Take care.
oh, and do be mindful. They're not going to get too much bigger than this.
Can I insight check that?
Make an insight check.
I will give him advantage.
Using an
I need
inspiration point? You can do that. Go ahead.
Nah. I mean, I rolled a 22.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Then I don't.
You wanna,
That's
like,
without
take back-
inspiration. I don't need to give inspiration.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and have that. 22. There's an air of unsuredness in his voice. but from what you can tell, he's had this thing for a while, and it hasn't gotten a lot bigger than this.
Okay.
So you think he's telling the truth mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I give him the platinum and I pick up the crocodile like you would like hold a baby of like under the arms.
Yeah, under the first arms, and he just like kind of looks down to you, and you swear you see a smile creep across his crocodile maw.
You are gonna be named Ripples.
Before your spell ends, Willow. Ripples. Far out. And and you just hear
He totally
just
likes
a
it.
low grumble.
Oh, yeah.
Good name. Good name.
And in that same vein,
Oh, can I have a name too?
from the moss cat.
Oh, figure it out. This is great.
Okay, you can take your time.
You can always do Greenie.
I was thinking Mosaic.
That's a good one.
Mosaic?
Yeah.
At the mention of the word mosaic, you see the moss cat kind of like, it's almost like a little like moss flower just like boop,
I actually do like
blooms
that.
on its back, and it's just like,
I love that word. Can that word be my name?
Mosaic. Mosaic. Yes.
Yay!
and he just kind of like, you kind of like see his paws like kind of tippity tapping on your shoulder like really happily.
Okay. So is this technically like an awakened plant?
It's like a house cat, but made primarily of moss that has advantage on stealth checks when it's asleep. It's
Awakened shrub?
It's not really an awakened plant. It's more like, think of where you are and how like what plants survive like a radioactive state.
Mhm.
Like it's like a cross. Oh
Okay, there's
God, not
another-
elbow.
Elmo just wants to say that he really likes the name Mosaic. Elmo's gonna sue.
Oh God, that's a,
What have I
I was
done?
gonna say, that's a damn good like Elmo
Yeah.
impression. I will say that.
Yeah, it is. Can I ask my sweetie what she wants to be named? If she has a name.
I mean, I'm happy with whatever you come up with.
How about Debbie?
That sounds nice.
and that's at that moment that the spell kind of fades away.
We now need to do a one-shot where we all play her in.
Nuzzles.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Damon, to get to you,
What are you doing?
I will say as much as this. I need Zog. The people who are in the tent that aren't Damon, I need you to make perception checks.
Perception? 15.
15. Okay.
22.
22. Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Also, I'm gonna send you a picture of a thing that's in the monster manual.
Okay.
Well, it's not in the monster manual. It's actually in like Mordenkainen's.
Like, right. Gotcha.
And you're gonna tell me whether or not it's close to what you're describing because it sounds close. It's gonna be on Discord.
Right. Ooh, we're approaching the 4-hour mark.
Yes, we are. We're ending on buying pets, you guys.
No, not even a little bit. No. Like more friend-shaped than whatever the hell you just sent me.
Whatever that hell spawn looks like.
That is demon-shaped. Yeah, yours is more like, God, okay.
I'm gonna send you a picture
Like,
of a tiny
It's an
alligator.
awakened plant,
Right.
is what you're describing to me.
Yeah.
It's an awakened plant. It's just awakened moss instead of an
Tiny
awakened
alligator.
shrub.
Yeah, it's just a nice little.
So I can just put it as an
a
awakened
friendship.
shrub, but
It's a
it's an
friend-
awake. It's just I could.
It's a friend-shaped moss It's a
I'm trying to
friendship
figure out
moss
what
block.
I should put it under for my extra.
Oh, just put like house cat, or whatever the closest thing to cat would be. But instead of
There's
beast,
cat.
it would be just a cat. There you go.
Just add. I can just add cat, but
There you go.
then I can customize.
All right.
Okay.
Willow
Yes.
and Sun. You see Damon just kind of like walking around, observing some animals, like looking like he's looking for the right one, but he's not really picking any of them out. And Willow, you notice that he's walking past a lot of the other people that are viewing inside the tent. And you swear that you see him like bump into one of them, like accidentally on purpose. But that's about as much as you get from that. Damon, you end up with 58 gold pieces, 22 silver pieces, 13 copper pieces, and a small red round gemstone.
Damon, what did you do?
He stole from me, probably.
He stole from everybody else. He stole from the visitors, the tourists.
Oh.
None of you can deduct. None of you have to deduct any coin from your purses.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm broke now, so.
How much was, how much
Fail.
was
That's
my
a worse
moss cat?
fail. That's a fail.
Wait, is Mosaic just a combination of moss cat?
Yeah, he's
Mosaic?
Just a
Yeah.
fucking pile of moss. He's just a fucking pile of moss.
No,
that
the
looks like a
name
cat.
Mosaic?
Yeah, the name Mosaic. Did you just come up with
It's-
it because it's a combination of moss cat?
Yes, and it can do like cool colors and shit. Like a mosaic. I thought it was perfect.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of the
Cool.
people that you
That
bump
helped me
into,
out a little bit.
one of the people that you bump into, Damon, kind of like, kind of looks like up and then back at you, like, which way you going, buddy? And then like, turns back. Doesn't make any mention of the 12 gold you stole from him. Just watch where you're going. And then one more. No. Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Why not?
Dog
Put
is
him lit
Florida
Molotov.
Put those totals if you need them, because they're pretty close.
I got him. I got him.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Typed them in and just clicked add to inventory.
So
Or add
as
to-
you, for the sake of brevity, as you are all kind of making your way out of the tent with your newfound animalian friends, you kind of walk the rest of the boardwalk back over towards the original meeting point, Tharuzal's blacksmith, where Tesla and Quinlan, if you aren't going like straight immediately south, do you feel the need that like, okay, we have a direction, let's go back to the meeting point, see if anyone else is there? Would that be a reasonable assumption to make?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't think it would have taken those 4 hours for the, depending on how
no,
the
this is
distance
like this is the grand total elapsation of like an hour and a half out
Yeah.
of the 6 that you dedicated to the rest of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I thought I had time, my character would go and walk the direction that East Town is, or at least get a good feel of which direction to go. If
Okay,
it was like,
yeah,
okay,
so-
this is too far, we have to turn around and go back and meet with the people, and then
Yeah, so make an investigation check as you're walking that direction before you head back.
okay. Investigation. I don't have that. Is that intelligence?
Let me look. Let me help you out here.
Yes.
Your investigation
Yeah.
bonus is +4, so
13.
Yes. 13. As you're kind of walking that direction, you notice that the general look and feel of the town has been like pretty standard up to this point, like kind of ramshackle, like as any other typical town would be, but it's even more derelict the farther in this direction you're going. You see some people like are opening up like businesses and stores, but like it's mostly residential this direction. And when you reach the border of the residential district, you see like a couple of larger folk carrying around sacks of what you can only assume is material, but they aren't all heading in one unified direction. They're just walking around like, you think they might be like litter picker-uppers or like, you know, just like general service people wandering, like picking up things or gathering. Is
there anything uniform about them?
They're all wearing a little cap with a what looks like the symbol of a lantern on them.
Okay.
But you know, nothing else really besides that. Like each cap, the symbol is plastered onto like the side of the cap that they wear.
The signature on the letter, did that have any kind of
it did not look like a brass lantern. It looked like a you know, a lavender stalk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looked like a lavender stalk with a bell hanging off the end of the stalk and the letters BLS kind of inscribed underneath.
Okay.
Different.
Okay,
different.
So
logo.
different. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, probably go as far as I think I can safely without getting too far out of the way.
Come on, man. Okay. And you do so. It starts to feel really tense, like another 10 minutes into the residential district, and you notice that some of the buildings are getting like shorter, like they're going from like 2 stories to 1 story, and then 1 story to like 1 story flat roof, and then it's just getting a little too like specky over here for you. It's not
okay.
You feel like you would need the rest of your folks just for like, you know, to be doubly sure that you're not walking into like the absolute worst sketch pile.
Okay.
So taking
but
the
also
travel
looks like it could be like where a junkyard would be.
Oh yeah.
Like, a junkyard would not be in the middle of a residence.
No. You notice that the lines of buildings are like coming closer to an end, and there are like a couple of branching paths as you reach the end of that road, or the closer to the end of that road you get, but you get a feeling that this is definitely the right direction, but you're not sure until you have your other folks with you.
Okay. All right, then I guess I'll turn around.
As you head back to Tharuzal's, you make it there a good like 15-20 minutes before the rest of the folks do. So the group coming from the traveling zoo, and Toxor waves at all of you as you leave. Thank you for being contributing customers. Please, if you feel like adopting any more wonderful friends, come back and see me. And he gives out like a bellowous roar as you leave. Just as a sign of showmanship, almost.
Hello.
I need Willow specifically to make an insight check when he does that. Or not insight, perception.
Okay.
That is a 17.
You notice like a quarter of the animals kept in his little tent kind of like recoil away from him when he roars. Only about a quarter of them though. Like the others don't the others seem to be like unpressed. You know, like this is just what he does. But
they're terrified of him.
Yeah.
What?
Hello.
You think
Sorry,
that
what?
it could just be a natural reaction to loud noise, but there's an air of uncertainty there.
Hello.
So you can keep that information as you will.
Do you know what my mosaic eats?
What's that? Oh, do I know? Yeah, you get the feeling that he just absorbs sunlight.
Fantastic. For that information, and I hand her no, 20 gold. And walk
Okay.
away.
Oh, you were asking Willow.
Yeah.
Willow, you
Okay.
okay?
It's
I'll
paying
give you
back
that
for
one.
the cat.
Yeah.
Or not for paying for it.
Willow, I'll give you that one. You would have known that. Well, you see.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
I'll look up. You guys, what did you do?
Alligator.
Yeah, you see the merry band coming back with 3 new animals on their shoulders.
You do
Quinlan.
now actually have 20 more gold.
Alligator.
I see that, but where are you gonna keep it?
On my boat.
With what?
The water around my boat.
Are you?
If he wants
Clean
to
up
swim,
after
he
it,
can
right?
swim. If he wants to be on land, I have both.
Crocodiles need more than just water. Do you
What,
fish?
like what else?
Zog,
Fit? Yeah.
make an animal handling check as this conversation is happening. Just for curiosity's sake.
He's also pretty
Gator's just
chill.
gonna bite him.
17.
17. You notice that Ripples.
Yeah.
Ripples.
Yeah, you notice that Ripples is kind of like squirming around a little bit in your hand. So you adjust your grip and you bring him up to your shoulder, and he kind of like waddles across your shoulder, laying like tail head.
Yeah.
And then just like continuing to rest, and you feel like his chest contracting and expanding with his breath, and it's a nice even keel breath.
He likes me. Apparently the guy might be not so nice that sold us these. So we're saving him. And Mosaic. And Dovey?
Yes.
Dovey.
Ripples, Dovey, and Mosaic. I love it.
We can go back if y'all want to buy pets.
No. No.
At that, Damon kind of speaks up.
Don't you already have one pet?
I don't think we should go back there.
Oh.
Why not?
No reason.
What do you mean?
There was
Tesla.
one animal.
There was what?
I am questioning Tesla's motives of what do you mean you already have a pet? Me as a player.
That's exactly what
Tesla,
it sounds like.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
To bring it
I'm
to
just saying you have already taken on one permanent passenger. You want 2 more? Like, just you're becoming Noah's Ark really quickly. You know that, right?
I need another alligator?
Oh,
No.
gosh, no.
Let's go.
We can't
my
go back.
God.
I
Getting more animals out of this man's hand sounds appropriate.
Honestly, I'm not opposed to an animal jailbreak. But I have information. We have to be heading south, and then we will head back and maybe go free those animals.
You do realize it takes more than just buying animals to save them, right?
No. I mean, like,
Because like you would have to
Just
shut
free them.
down his operation.
can you?
Because he's always
you're-
gonna find more.
You're a real downer. Do you want me to kill him?
No, I don't want you doing any killing because I need you to for my shipments. The business is business. You know that, right?
I'm gonna lean into Tesla. I said, "What about me?
What about you?
You want me to stab him?"
No. No stabbing anyone.
Aw.
Must
What
we
if he's hurting
resort
the
to
animal?
Violence?
If
If
he's
he's
hurting,
I'm gonna look dead at Willow.
Hmm.
Was he really that bad?
Well, the animals flinched.
if the
Willow.
animals are being
Make-
mistreated, there's
make-
probably a company or organization of some sort that looks into that stuff.
Willow, make an insight check.
Good.
It's going in a direction.
That is a natural 20 for 25.
Natural 20.
Yes!
I love these dice now.
Save the animals, motherfucker.
Okay. When he did his roar, most of the animals that moved looked to be the very skittish type. Like little, like really quick, like lizards and like insects and birds and stuff that would naturally recoil at the sound at such a loud noise. Thinking back to that interaction, the thing that sketched you out more was the fact that some of the humans flinched. And you would think that they would not be so scared by such a thing.
Above table, I get what you're doing. So
the people were also terrified of, were scared of his roar. That's what mostly creeped me out.
you think it was maybe an unintentional thing? Or maybe just a racial?
I don't know.
Are we being racially motivated in our killing of a person?
I am not. I thought he was being mean to animals.
Is this what you're teaching him?
No, I am not. He reads
Can
what
we agree on one
he
thing?
picked up
We
like the
don't need
Communist
to be-
Manifesto the other day, and I was just like, I don't want to block your reading, but at the same
You
time,
infect.
like,
And on that note, we're gonna end the session there. We will pick up next
Conversation of
week.
killing.
We will pick up next week with another. Not next week. We will pick up 2 weeks from now to continue this adventure into the exciting world of Quy'zz. Do we have any idea what that last statement could possibly mean? Some of you might be making assumptions. We'll just have to find out next time, won't we? So, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out for this long. These have been my lovely players, and I've been DippyTheDM. Until next time, your adventure matters. Roll for your initiative.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
bye.